Oh, good morning. What's up, Smash? Welcome,
What's up,
everybody,
man?
to Texas Sports Unfiltered on this January 21st of the new year, 2024. I am Wags, and that is Smash. You can find me on Twitter at NotTheFakeWags. You can find Smash at the Smash Simmons. Did I get it
You
right?
got it. You
Oh,
got
it's
it.
only right in front of me on the damn page, and it's just there. Anyways, man, welcome everybody to another wonderful edition on this fine Sunday of the Wagner Wire on Texas Sports Unfiltered. We got you covered for this little party, getting you ready for, well, I usually say getting you ready for NFL kickoff, but NFL games aren't starting off until a little bit later on in the afternoon. We got a little bit of NFL to talk about from yesterday, some excellent football to get into of the gridiron. We also got some Texas basketball to talk about. We got a little we got some lifestyle stuff to talk about. We got some video game news to talk about. We also got some movies. What are you previewing? My birthday is on March 1st, and there is one
Dude, what were you going to see?
What's coming out on March 1st?
I haven't been keeping track, man. I was like, the last thing that I went to go see in the theater was with you to go see the
Iron Claw.
Iron Claw, yeah, which was great.
Dune Part 2 comes out March 1st on my birthday.
What? Does it? Dude,
Yeah.
I'd be down.
So I went to go see, and that's a conversation I want to have about movie theaters. Like, how do you consume, or how do you take in your movie, right? Do you go to the IMAX, or do you wait until it usually comes out on stream because you don't want to deal with the theaters? Or, do you have to get the optimal experience in the IMAX theater where you actually pay that $25 ticket for the 4D experience, not 3D, 4D experience. And we'll talk a little bit about that in just a little bit too, man. But anyways, dude, it's been like 2 weeks, man. We took a little bit of day. We took some time off for Martin Luther King weekend and everything to celebrate, the nation moving forward in the right steps and whatnot, and celebrating, the civil rights and all the good things that led from Martin Luther King's success. Or that came from Martin Luther King's success. So we took a little bit of the week off to celebrate that and to have a little bit of football as well. How have you been? How's everybody been? Hopefully everybody's joining us on the Coda text line. If you are mobile, 512-222-9328 is that number. If you haven't had that written down yet for a little bit of the duration of the show. Also, make sure you smash that subscribe button on the YouTube page. That way you guys can have a little bit of a conversation with us on the YouTube chat line. That's probably the primary way to get a hold of us, but we also are checking out that Coda text line as well. All right, Smash, we've already given them the socials, baby. Let's catch up on some things, man. It's about 2 weeks since we've last seen each other, so it's our date night tonight, or it's our date a date morning.
It's our morning brunch, bro.
Hit me with a little bit of information taco here, man. Give me a breakfast burrito. What we got going on?
Well, let's see. Obviously, you talked about UT doing well. African Cup of Nations soccer-wise, been kind of following that. Looks like Salah got hurt, so
and
Liverpool
return. Kevin De Bruyne returns for 4 minutes.
Huge.
Comes on the damn pitch for 4 minutes and makes an impact. So,
I mean, it's kind of like that's what happens.
He's on there for more than 4 minutes, but I mean, the fact that just in 4 minutes he's able to make an impact. So,
but that's what happens when you're like the best midfielder in the world. It's like, oh, you can have that effect on a game even against the best players in the world in the Prem.
Mark, so me and BK call that the dynamic duo. It's just the world gets just too much of the Pisces power right there on the first and the second. With
do you guys share a birthday? No,
we just give it to them, for 2 days straight. Celebrate nothing but glorious celebrations on the first and the second there.
Dang.
Yeah, man. You also you got a new gig. You're a stripper now, right?
Oh man, yeah. I've been working out on the abs, the OnlyFans, the new internet has really been kicking in.
I thought you were trying to get back into the ring.
Dude, that's like your dream. I was like,
I thought you were inspired. I thought you were going to get back and jump off the top turnbuckle. Give me a little bit.
Dude, I'm afraid now. I don't think the landings would be as soft as they used to be in my 20s. That's for sure, man. Like the pro wrestling thing, like I really loved it, dude. I loved doing it. I loved the physicality and like that drama kid acting in it, because you get to do both, be an athlete and be an entertainer. But man, it really does hurt.
I think you and I could still nail the promo. We would be one hell of a dynamic tag team, by the way. You got like that little like the Rey Mysterio thing going on, and I'm obviously the power.
Yeah.
Or you know what? I like to think of myself as a technician.
We would be like, I think we would be very similar to either the Heart Foundation or the British Bulldogs with
That's what
Dynamite
I was thinking the
Kid.
Heart. I was thinking Heart Foundation, man. I was thinking both come out. Did the British Bulldog, even though they were from England, did they
Yeah,
come out of Hart's camp?
yes,
They did.
both of them.
I thought they did. But yeah,
Yeah,
man. I feel like we're like a Heart Foundation kind of tag team with the technician of myself and the skills, and then obviously the high flying skill set of yourself. even though Anvil was probably like a powerhouse instead of a technician.
Have you
And the
seen
Heart
that
was
show on Netflix about the pro wrestlers from Al Snow's OVW? I forget what it's called, but it's on Netflix. And one of the dudes I used to wrestle against, like when I was first starting out, like he
He's
took
on
like
there?
yeah, like he took like 10 years off. He had like a kid and then family issues and things like that. And then I was always like, bro, you should have never stopped. He was really good, you know? And
That's
it just goes to show, even 10 plus years, man, he still has it. So it was really good to see him on there. I was like, oh dude, I remember that guy. It's like it's random, man. The world of pro wrestling. Like sometimes I'll look and I'll be like, I worked that person like 15 years ago,
that's not Mark. That
man.
was Marcy. Never mind. So yeah, you like we're not bullshitting when we talk about Smash being in wrestling. Like Smash really was in wrestling.
Yeah.
I put around with the thought and the notion of me being able to get into the ring or into the squared circle.
I think you can still do it.
I don't see. I said that, and I even said it up to a month ago, right? But man, I'm telling you right now, I don't know if it was having a little bit of the flu, and because you know when you get sick with the flu, you like you get it, you feel sickness in your bones. You know what I mean? Like your bone structure feels like it's a little bit brittle and weak.
Oh
and
yeah.
extremely tired and exhausted, and you really, I mean, it's just tough around tough to putter around the house and whatnot.
Not everybody's going to get the Jordan flu game performance, you know, when they get sick.
No, for sure. But I mean, still, like even at 42, I feel like I still feel like I'm in a young capsule. You know what I mean? I still like I'm in a young shell until I start to move or until I start to try and play my son a one-on-one or to do anything physical, right? No, I'm serious. Like,
is it the speed? Is the speed the difference?
It's the endurance. It's the duration. Like as soon as I start to to get into activity for maybe more than 10 minutes, I start my bones ache, my muscles ache.
Well, man, you got no knees after carrying all those 60 packs.
I know I don't have any cartilage in my knees or whatever, but I'd still think that I'd be able to go for at least 30 minutes of constant grinding or wear and tear without having to like, hey, hold up, 1 second, hold, like, I mean, my God, my hands are on my knees within minutes. Or you should see me when I take the ice. You know what I mean? Like when I go out and try and have like a little skate around.
Okay. I didn't know you still did that.
I'm hunched over. I have my stick on my knees, and my lower back is killing me within 5 minutes.
Yeah, dude, the haunches, man. That doesn't sound pretty nice. And I mean, that's a completely different workout, though, because those muscles, they're all like the inner ones.
Hockey's a lot of lower body and cardio. I mean, of course, everybody, says, sports, if you're going to be in running or whatnot in lower body, it's all lower body. But I mean, hockey for sure, dude. Hockey's just different muscles, man. Your inner thighs too. I don't know. I've always said if you can skate and you can swim, you can run. You know what I mean? Like, but if you can run, you might not be able to skate and swim. That's one thing.
What have been the most like grueling sport you ever tried? Like, even the most random Olympic style sport.
Lacrosse.
Lacrosse is the most grueling to train for.
Lacrosse has been the toughest just because you gotta have so much skill, right? You gotta be able to be ambidextrous. You got to be able to catch right and throw right, and catch left and throw left, or else you're not going to be a legitimate starter, or at least where we grew up in the Baltimore area, man.
Oh, that's right, Northeast lacrosse.
I know that lacrosse is becoming a little bit more prominent and playable down here and popular down here in the Austin area, or of course in the Westlake area where more money is at, I would say. Because it's a rich sport, or it feels like a rich sport, even, which is kind of ironic because it is a Native American sport. You wouldn't think that, that has a lot of association with money, but from where I'm from, man, if you have a lot of money or if you went to private school, you were mainly into lacrosse, and if you were public school or whatnot, you played baseball because they were two spring sports.
Oh, okay, so that's where it was.
And so that's a lot of reasons why I didn't play much lacrosse in In school, I played it in club just because I was playing a lot of baseball. So that was with hockey as well. We didn't really have that much ice, or we only had like one rink around us. So
You have to have ice time, right?
Only, what's that?
You got to get ice time.
Yeah, you got to pay for ice time. You gotta be able to have schools that are able to, be able to have flex schedules to get to, the rink or whatnot to have practice, more than just 3 or 4 times a week. If you're going to have actual school hockey or whatnot, or hell, some schools might even have hockey rinks assigned to them or whatnot. Kind of.
Oh, I was going to say on campus. I was like, no way on campus.
Kind of like how we have our schools, our zone schools share like
stadium.
Share stadiums around here for Texas football. So yeah, I would assume it's like that way more up north for playing hockey. But no, we only had one rink for 10 schools to share. So that's why there was club hockey.
I think it's interesting that the most grueling sports for you are the ones that are most prominent in like the Northeast, lacrosse and hockey.
I mean, yeah,
I would have gone with like pro wrestling and boxing because I'm just like the conditioning. It's crazy.
Like in MMA, like I've done MMA and I've done boxing before, and that wasn't tough. You know what I mean? Like,
you don't think so?
Well, no, it was because it was technique, and also like I've always been real quick. I have a lot of lower body power, and I'm able to use it to explode. So I've always been able to be very well versed in, like I've done taekwondo. I've done Hoist Gracie jiu-jitsu, and I was really good at that stuff. And wrestling is like actual wrestling, like not like
the freestyle style.
Freestyle and folk wrestling. I've always had a lot of natural body power, man, and that kind of transitioned well, and I don't know, just boded well for me when I was doing that. I wish I would have stuck with wrestling a lot more. I probably would have been able to get into pro wrestling, but that was a long loop around to say that I don't think I could ever do wrestling anymore just because my body is.
No, you're right at the prime.
I could be a manager, dude. I could be your
definitely. Manager. I'm only like a year or two younger than you,
Bobby. You know what? Well, let's bring back Bobby Heenan. Let's bring back the brain.
There are
the four horsemen.
Oh, dude, that would be legendary. But there aren't a lot of good managers anymore. There's very few of them. So, yeah, I mean, it is a lost skill.
I just learned that Mr. Fuji was actually a wrestler. He was a tag team champion.
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of those dudes that were managers when you were watching, when we were growing up, were wrestlers. Like everybody from Classy Freddie Blassie to Mr. Fuji.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Northeast guy. So.
Anyways, guys, let's we did have a lot of football. You want to talk a little bit about football, or you want to tease the crowd a little bit with a little bit of the surprise victory that we had with the Longhorns yesterday?
I figured that'd be the first thing.
I had two memories yesterday when I watched Longhorn basketball. Right when I watched them play Baylor, I thought about The Godfather. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. And then I also thought about Road Trip. You know what I mean? No, it wasn't Road Trip. I did think about Road Trip, but that was because Bucky and the Knights Inn story that we were talking about. But I thought about memory slip.
It happens, man. It does happen. But I was like, I guess that's what Baylor had on the road, right? A little bit of a slip up, a little mind mess up, going against this Texas squad that really needed that win. That was huge. I was
it was Dumb and Dumber. That's what it was.
Dumb and Dumber.
When they were on the road. Just when I thought you couldn't go and do anything more dumber than what you did. Then you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself.
Yeah.
I was sucked back in, dude. And of course and I'm going to skip over the entire game and just go right to the last play, right? After Baylor ties it, it makes it 73-73. I'm sitting here thinking, oh Christ, here we go. Why didn't you call timeout and get the defense set up or once you saw what they were going to roll out, give a timeout to set your defense up and then get an inbound play set in, right? Apparently, they must have had that already drawn up and set up, you know what I mean? Because that looked pretty damn fluid. As soon as that ball went through the hoop, no timeout was called. They were ready to roll with it, man. And they, Hunter, Hunter getting it from the Sioux and then having, basically a natural screen that takes 3 people away from Hunter, and then Hunter able to use his speed. Everybody's wondering why I want him to be so much of a slasher and utilize his natural born abilities and talents, man. I don't want him living off of the perimeter, man. Sometimes he gets hot and hits those perimeter shots, but you've seen the natural athleticism that this dude has, right? He not only did he score last night, Smash, he also drew the foul, the and one, but that did not get called, and that's probably not going to get called in a situation like that, right? They're probably going to let him play to the whistle, but I mean, still, like, to within 5 seconds to be able to go the length of the floor with no timeout. I mean, clearly that's a drawn up play that the Longhorns know how to run, right? Like they've ran that before.
That's what I would assume, because that was a gutsy call.
It looked pretty. There was a lot of flow to that damn play, where it looked like that did not look like it was just based out of damn, improv off of two players, hooping right there. That looked like a pretty. I mean, the entire court was spread. It looked perfect. There was a lane right down the center that Hunter could exploit, and we got the damn cup, man.
I mean,
tremendous to take down the number 9 team. And look, and Rodney and I talked about this on Chaos Theory out throughout the week, right? After you drop one to UCF like that, and look, we tried to give a little bit of roses to the Longhorns, right? Because UCF also beat Kansas, and everybody's, touting Kansas to be the number 1 team in the nation. And
UCF
right?
is no joke.
Right. Well, I mean, UCF to hang. I mean, now, I mean, maybe they're not a joke. I mean, I was out. I was ready for baseball season after that.
Already.
Yes. Well, I mean, you can't go up and beat Cincinnati and then drop one to West Virginia and then come back and then have another one drop to UCF and then expect this team to be anything rolling into conference play.
I think I would have been more concerned if they were losing really bad consistently. They were fighting and they just couldn't get it done, and you can tell they were like 1 or 2 steps away from having this time of success.
I'm still not sold. I sit here and say, just when I thought I was out, you suck me back, but I still, like, I say that just because it's cliche, just because everybody knows that as the Godfather. Well, I still don't know if I'm completely sold back in. Like it's just a different when the Zoo shows up. It's just a different team, and you still need more from Brock. You still you're
definitely need more from Brock.
Brock is out there way too much for the contributions that he's giving. Like the line, and I'm sorry, like I know he plays fantastic. He plays fantastic defense, right? And he's got excellent lateral movement. But you have to be able to contribute on offense. You can't do more than just set some screens. You got to be dominant on the boards, and you got to be able, or at least offensive rebounds. Second chance, third chance opportunities. Being able to grind the clock down. When you do have leads with those second chance opportunities, and then quick rotations on defense. And getting back. I mean, you have to be able to give that, night in and night out, but you also have to be able to 10 points, 6 points.
I was going to say 10 for a college game is asking a little bit, but if you can contribute about 6 to 8, you're pretty solid off the bench. I was like,
and we need that was some of the things too that Brock used to do, right? Brock used to come in and hit big shots off the bench, and I mean shots from the perimeter. And look, this rant is not Texas is not doing bad because Brock Cunningham is not contributing that much on offense. That is not what I'm saying. Brock's a fantastic player. I'm just saying you need to contribute a little bit more if you want to have the success that we were having going to the Sweet 16, going to the the Elite 8.
Yeah,
but
it's all
tough to replicate, Smash.
Easily, because well, it's not only just the contributions. We also knew that the expectations were much higher coming into this season. So last year,
a lot of roster turnover. Marcus Carr was one hell of a field general, to where Asmus is your shooter. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, that's the guy that's going to knock down your big shot. Like,
but you can't. You need more than just 2 shooters, dude. You know what I mean?
As a Dallas Mavericks fan, I agree with you. I know how that feels. But I mean, like, Amos he's gonna keep you in every game, because that kid hits big shot after big shot. And it's not just this game, because
it's every game. Like he's the dude.
Like, I don't get to catch every game, but every game I do turn on of UT basketball and he's playing, that guy's just playing lights out.
But I mean, Horton, like you need Horton to have consistent shooting. And it's just not there. Like, there's really only one constant, and that's Asmus, right?
And I'm glad you bring this up, though. Because you have to remember, you guys are like the hardcore UT fans, and a lot of the people that tune in here are like the hardcore UT fans. And like, while I enjoy watching UT athletics and such, I might not follow it that deep. So I'm telling you, as an outsider looking in, like, if I can only identify really one or two players on your team and you're expecting to make a championship run this season, it might not happen, because you need to have that depth and you need to have that talent like you're talking about. And you need the talent that you do have to perform at the talent level that they were performing at during the run last year. And that's asking a lot to replicate.
If I told you, like, we took down Baylor, but if I told you that Hunter, hit 4 for 7 from the arc, like, okay, so he had the game of his life, but he was one of his better games shooting. You know what I mean? That he was just feeling it. He was on that, and thank God, because Horton was off. So you got to have,
and that's what we need.
This goes back to having more than just two Longhorns that are hot, two shooters that are hot, right? Like, or at least, I mean, two of them don't even have to be hot, but one's got to be a threat and one's got to be on. And usually A. Smith is on, right? So you got to have at least one other guard, one other player in your backcourt that's able to hit from the perimeter.
Exactly.
And I feel like it's a necessity to have one more come off the bench and be able to hit a shot, or to knock a shot down at some point in the damn game.
Man, but it seems to me, though,
it's I know it's been a young campaign so far, but we're getting ready to get into the heart of conference play, and I got a lot of concerns.
I think the one thing that you can be okay about, though, is just understanding that, like, it's not just Texas that's going to be dealing with this during Big 12 play. It's going to be all the teams in Big 12 play, because it really does seem just like last season.
Right.
Any given night, like you said, it's like any given Sunday, any team can beat anybody, and we've seen this happen. So we just have to give props where props are due. Also, gotta give props to Dylan Dessou. He played really well last night, and it's like, that's the question. He's like,
I need him on the board. Like, he needs to be more dominant on the boards, though, man. You can't, and probably a lot of that. I don't know how much of him being dominant and getting doubles last year was on the success from Carr being able to
that helped a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I thought those two having tremendous success with the 2-man game was able to get the Sioux in the flow more. Now, man, I mean, that offense is really. It feels like it's taken a little bit of step back. It feels like it's had a little bit of regression, because you're not seeing the flow that you usually would see from Carr. And we had the same concerns with Carr too, right? What's up, Mr. Hinojosa? How are you, sir?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
So we've had the same concerns pretty much, last season too, with the offense taking 10, 15 seconds until it actually starts to get into the flow of things, or actually starts to to try and get into its actual offense that it wants to run, right? Wasted time of the possession. That's been a lot of my gripe from last season. It looks like that's carrying over from to this season too. Yesterday was some decent flow, Smash. I mean, but still, like, I'm not trying to harp on him a lot, but I need more from the big man, man. You can't be that reliant on the perimeter or your guard play. And obviously, like, I'm not taking anything away from Hunter, but the perimeter play yesterday from his offense production, 3-point shooting, a little bit of anomaly. All right. A little bit of an anomaly that usually doesn't go down like that. Okay. I'm glad he was able to supplement Horton's lack or underperformance. But anyways, man,
I see exactly where you're getting at, though.
Longhorns for getting the dub.
You're just saying you want a more well-rounded approach from them. Correct. Because you don't want them relying on the 3 ball, because we all know, like, they haven't been consistent shooting.
Especially this year, if you live and die by the 3, you're going to die.
More often than not right now. Yeah. But, I mean, Abemus, like, that kid, he's the real deal, dude.
We know that. He's lights out. We know that. But
he's the real deal.
You need to have more contributions from your big men. You need to have more paint points. You need to be a little bit more tougher, man. But, hey, tough as nails on Saturday. Got the dub. And here's to better and brighter things for Longhorn basketball. We'll talk a little bit more about that in hour number 2. Also want to talk about audiovisual consultations real quick. Of course, I was able to watch Longhorn basketball and a lot of college basketball last night. and yesterday with the NFL playoffs because of audiovisual consultations. 512-255-8678. That's 512-255-8678. The website's avconsultations.com. You can see the gallery of projects that they've done since 1988. That's 35 years of setting the standard in audiovisual automation in the Austin, Central Texas area. So if you like what I got behind me with the arcade machines and the 2 4K televisions, and I also got a Dream Theater system downstairs that we watch Real Housewives of Atlanta or Bethesda or any house, any city in America or whatnot. We also watch Below Deck. Oh, she's got me into something else right now too. It's called Vanderpump Rules.
Oh, dude, we talked about Vanderpump Rules
stuff, man. I watch all kinds of stuff, shows and sports with audiovisual consultations. That's just the visual part. You got to hear the audio stuff too with the Sonos surround sound system. Audiovisual consultations can hook you up. 512-255-8678. That's avconsultations.com. All right, Smash. We got some football to talk about too, man.
Dude, how do you feel about NFL playoffs being on a Saturday though?
I'm all right with. I used to think that Sunday should be reserved strictly for church and football, right? You know what I mean?
I'm with you on that,
Show, but I mean, that's just usually what my grandma made me do. Like we'd get up, we'd go to church, and then I'd come home and watch the NFL games. And if I didn't have to mow the damn yard, actually, I would have to mow the yard on Saturdays and watch Maryland basketball.
Oh, so you had to figure it out. You got a schedule.
Yeah, man. It's routine, dude. I had routine, but dude, I'm cool with it, man. Especially with the the viewing situations.
I don't know, man.
I have here. You know what I mean? Like
I wish they would just have it all on Sunday, dude. Because like last week we had, or what was it? A couple of weeks ago we had because they start playing those games.
You get hooked up with AV consultations. You won't be having these concerns.
That's true. That's true. I would have the multi-screen setup, and I could have this.
I know you're speaking for most people.
Yeah, but you know how? No, but I mean, I'm speaking about like the kids like that were playing in the state championship because the NFL starts playing Saturday games in week 17. You know, that kind of overlapped with what the kids were doing at the Texas State Finals, and we had some really good games. And I think that people missed out on watching that because you're watching pivotal NFL matchups that are going to decide playoff spots on a Saturday. And then also the FCS National Championship for football. It was a great game. It's held in Frisco, but it's like I feel fans, while there was almost 1 million people who tuned in to watch it on TV, I think the output would have been more if it wasn't having to compete against NFL football.
True. That's
my thing.
No, it's true. You and Rodney are I don't really pay attention too much to ratings, I guess. Maybe it's because I feel like, as long as the content's out there, it's going to be seen at some point, right? Now, of course, once your content's out on YouTube or whatever platform you choose to use, you have to go to your socials to kind of drive that nail home to make sure that it gets views and scenes, right?
Yeah.
Or just impressions. It's not so much the like thing. You just want people to see your content, right? And I feel like usually now with streaming and everything that happens, and I don't really pay too much to live ratings or whatnot, where you and Rodney kind of do.
It's because it's big in pro wrestling because there's a competition right now, and like there's always concerns like how many.
You know what I mean? It's huge.
Yeah, but I mean, like you think about numbers, and it's just like this was a question I wanted to ask you before we got into the NFL talk. Is since we're about the same age, how do you feel about what is now everybody calling the death of Sports Illustrated? Because I saw that all over my timeline, and I'm just like, man, I was one of those kids that had a whole lot of them.
Sorry, I missed that. Did Sports Illustrated bail out?
No, the company that owns them basically said like, hey, we're not making money off of this. And like whoever, they were trying to renew some rights and the rights weren't able to be renewed. So they just laid everybody off, like the entire staff.
Well, I mean, let's be real. Like the only time I really paid attention to Sports Illustrated was the swimsuit issue and the Olympics.
Well, it's still a cultural icon though for over since 1954.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
But I mean, really, you don't have that. I thought people are
desensitized now. One who is reading print or who's subscribing to print.
Of course, now.
Usually, if you're getting any type of print, it's digital. It's not hand feel or whatnot. What I used to do, hell, even with sports. Matter of fact, it was Sports Illustrated. It was Sports Illustrated and ESPN. My first publications that I had was Nintendo Power. That was the first.
Hell yeah.
Sports Illustrated, and then ESPN Magazine. And I
remember
didn't get no
team people.
I used to cut. I would cut all the pictures out.
Yeah.
And put them up all over my damn wall. Like that was my wallpaper. Yeah, my kid doesn't do that anymore. Like it's
Oh, because you don't got magazines.
No, I know. Like that's great. It's hell, that was half my Saturday, or half
Yeah, dude.
my art projects was decorating collages for my wall, or
Well, I mean,
or making my own wallpaper.
I was gonna say, well, the swimsuit edition did come with a fold out, so it totally makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean that brings me to my next point, right? With the whole desensitization stuff.
Well,
Like,
okay, that's true.
Yeah,
the kids have TikTok now. And Twitch.
It's not even
hot tub Twitch.
Snapchat. You can enter POR. I mean, you Pornhub. I mean,
they call it corn now.
I don't want to be like.
That's what the kids say. They put corn in there, and that's what they're talking about.
Right, well,
dude, I'm like, yeah, man. Like, you can just get on X.
I don't want to be an advocate for Pornhub or anything. Like, or trying.
No, but we're acknowledging that it's there.
Why in the hell are people waiting for the swimsuit edition to come out when at instantaneously they can just holy shit, what is that? What is she doing? What are they doing? I mean, that's. Hell, and then curiosity's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was half the reason for the swimsuit for me was, curiosity. Like, what's Kathy Ireland got on under there? What's got on under there? You know what I mean? Like, that is no longer
man.
That is no longer a damn curiosity anymore. Like, if I want to know what's there, I know how to see that. Basically, Smash. But
dude, I'm kind of sad the way that you mentioned that because it's like, oh, you're right.
Entire morning, man. Like I was joking around talking about. You being in wrestling and getting a new job, but you really did get a new job.
Oh, yeah, I did. I'm like there's this place called Game On ATX, and it's like on the east side of town. It's called Game On ATX, and it's like it's kind of like what we're doing right now, though, but I'm like a game show host, and we have a version of Family Feud.
Are you kidding?
Wheel of Fortune and Plinko.
So you're like an actual, do you got to wear, do you have to wear like a suit or anything?
Sports coat. At least the coat, but like some days
in the studio.
Yeah, like you come to the studio and it has like apparently one of the guys used to work for Rooster Teeth, so he built all the stuff is custom built and it has like the light integration and the grid. So like when you come and hit the buzzard, everything just.
Gosh, we got to talk to these people. We got to see if we can. Talk to. What's this place called?
Game On ATX.
Game On ATX. So all right. Yeah. So give me the rundown. Well,
you come in with your group. It's BYOB.
What personality do you try and take on?
Well, I mean, you kind of already see it here. I'm toned down a little bit because we just don't have like all that much time to like get. And it's kind of weird from home to get real rowdy because when we're in the studio, we get really rowdy. So that's what it's kind of like.
What's up, Ike? What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Ike?
This dynamic's a little bit different instead of us being in because we used to, dude, the music. I would crank the music. I mean,
dude,
we would jam out. And now I got my kid next door that's gonna come in
sleep
here
until noon.
Well, I mean, why not? You know what I mean?
I mean, that's what all kids do. You're supposed to.
I did. I mean, my wife.
I did too.
Like, you should wake around 10 o'clock. My wife's usually like, you should wake him up. I'm like, nah, just do it the weekend. Let him sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's up every morning for football and in school anyways.
Yeah, let him chill until 12, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't get this back, Someday he might have kids. He's going to be able to wish that he could sleep this late,
But yeah, and that's the thing too. So the dynamic's just a little bit different here when we're at the house. It is a little bit toned down. But so you like do you go like the Steve Harvey approach? Because you is it actually like Family Feud?
Yeah, like like I'll turn around. We actually go and ask we actually go take the surveys apparently. So like we asked 100 people in Austin.
You do that?
So
you say surveys?
No, because of the copyright. But I will go. Shit. But I'll be like, and let's take a look at the board.
Okay.
Show me potato salad.
Gotcha.
It's
all
there.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah. Like I'll do all that. Like a point. I just really started. So I've been producing a lot of the shows because it's just like radio. Like you have a producer there with the laugh track and stuff, and like making all the lights go. It's been pretty sweet. Being a freelancer, always have to live and die.
We get GGs in the chat for Smash here with this new job. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah, man. So if you guys show up, come and say hi.
Dude, your favorite game show growing up?
Man, that's a great question. I'm thinking Price is Right and Plinko. So I was really excited that we have the Plinko board because I was like, dude, that's always been my dream.
Yeah. Of course, I had those friends that would come over. Oh, put Jeopardy on, man.
Why?
I sucked at Jeopardy. I was terrible at Jeopardy.
I'm okay at it.
At it now, but and I swear, my Aunt Katie, I swear she used to watch. She would watch the damn reruns, or she would watch the show.
Is that weird that your wife's name is Katie and then you have an aunt named Katie?
No, they spell it differently.
Okay, that does help.
Kathleen and Catherine. So.
Okay. So completely different names.
Completely different names. Yeah, they just went Katie for short. But I swear to God, and it was my grandmom's sister. But my grandmom raised me, so I called her Aunt Katie. But I swear she used to watch like the first original, and then she'd make us watch the reruns or whatever. And then because she'd get every damn question right. So I would be amazed, right? And then I think my grandma would, led me into the secret that she would actually watch like a couple minutes of the show first, to try and give the
I like it,
or to the false appeal that she was just a genius or whatnot. But I mean, she'd hit every damn question on Jeopardy or whatnot. But anyways, Wheel was probably my favorite. Wheel of Fortune.
Dude, I'm bad at Wheel of Fortune. Like Hangman, playing like Hangman, I'm not good at it.
With like putting in the letters and trying, formulating the word or whatnot off of just a couple of pieces or a couple of clues. I'm pretty good at that. I like Classic Concentration. But
Classic Concentration.
I was in school. Yeah, that was kind of like a morning.
I liked
a later game show. It wasn't exactly the most popular game show. It wasn't like Price is Right or anything like that.
No, I mean, but there's a lot of little game shows like that sprinkled in. Like I love Trivia Pursuit, Supermarket Sweep, Win, Lose or Draw. Those were all like on the USA or Lifetime Network.
I'm not really into game shows at all anymore. I used to.
Dude, they're back. Because of the writer's strike, they needed things. So, like, they had to bring back game shows like Loteria on, like, CBS. Remember when, what was it, Harlan? He couldn't pronounce Loteria, so he was, like, he had his promo. Yeah. But, yeah, that's basically just, like, bingo, but, like, the Mexican version, chalupa. So, yeah. I was everybody,
first off, everybody, if you can hear us, put a 1 in the chat. Because apparently Magic Man ATX is saying we don't have any sound. So if you can hear us, please help us out here and do a little bit of an experiment. If you can hear our broadcast, put a 1 in the chat.
Okay.
There you go. All right.
Okay, good, man.
Okay, cool.
I was worried about that because I was like, oh, man, we've been talking into the void for 40 minutes.
Magic Man, Mike, it's never you. It's always me. All right. I'm the one to blame.
No, that's how I end all my relationships. It's not you, it's me. It really do.
Don't give me the "it's not you, it's me" thing, huh? I'm
being honest. I'm being honest. This is why I'm not married because
I'm doing a bit. I'm doing Seinfeld. I'm doing a bit.
Oh, I know you are, but like I'm actually being honest. I really do say that, and then I really mean it though.
I love the experiment that we have. You guys are actually listening. You guys are.
Oh yeah. How about did you like name that tune?
I did, but I mean, hell, these guys were getting it in like 4 notes. I didn't know what the hell they were. I didn't even. Actually listen to the damn song or like to guess the song. I was probably way too young at the time to even know the songs, anyways. Or
they were a little bit older. It definitely skewed older, even though it was already in the 80s, because like it was like 60s and 50s music.
Wheel, Price is Right, and Family Feud were my favorite. So the family, okay.
I forgot my favorite one though, bro. Press Your Luck.
One dude from Family Feud, the host from Family Feud, always like I remember this guy. I remember him like I remember him being more popular than the damn president. Like every woman, every wife, every sister,
no woman was safe on that show from him.
Dude, and it wasn't that they were safe. I mean, they were reaching. It was like there was 2 people in my mind that dominated getting women back in the day, and it was that dude and Ravishing Rick Rude.
Yes,
I'm serious, Justin.
What's I know, I believe you. What's Richard Dawson? Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson. That
he was also in the movie.
He was in the Running Man,
where he hosts the game show. Yes.
Oh that's a slept on Arnold movie,
dude. That's like one of his best ones.
We gotta rank some Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. That's a slept on Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, man.
See, we just need to do a thing.
Commando gets love from Arnold. Predator obviously gets love from Arnold, but Running Man, not many people mention the Running Man.
Dude, Running Man's like one of the best. And Jesse Ventura. Yes, exactly. See, you're on the same wavelength, bro. You know what I'm talking about. It's a great movie. I love it. It's a good time killer.
No whammy to you, Ike. What the hell
Dude.
were we talking about for you to give us no whammies?
Because I said press your luck. That was like my favorite one as a kid, dude.
Oh,
I was like 4 years old. You know, you don't need any skill. You just hit the buzzer and you hope it doesn't land on the whammies. And when you saw the whammies as a kid, it was funny to watch. And it's back. They show it on ABC. I was watching it with my grandma when I went to go visit for Christmas. You know, she apparently watches that and Shark Tank. And they had like one other game show. Yeah, I was surprised how in she is.
So usually I watch like the Temptation. Is it Temptation?
Temptation Island?
Not Temptation.
Golden Bachelor?
No, it's not. It's none of the Bachelor shows. It's the survival shit.
Have you seen that Naked and Afraid?
No, not Naked. It's The Amazing Race. It's
The Amazing Race.
Like,
yeah.
They gotta go all over a portion of the world or what.
Would you still do something like that? Like if you were able to get on one of those shows?
So my wife and I, always question each other if we could actually do it. I don't think my wife and I could do it. I could do it with someone else, but I don't know if I could do it with my wife just because I'm a very competitive person.
I know you are, man.
I got pissed off I got pissed off at you if you did not put out in gym class. I'd be like, all right, that scene in it's not Old School. It's Superbad with Michael Cera and Jonah Hill. Where Jonah Hill comes into Michael Cera's gym class and interrupts the soccer game or whatnot, and Greg comes over. What the hell, Evan? We're behind 3 points. That was me.
Yeah,
I was the guy that came over and got in your ass if you weren't putting out in gym class, man. I mean, I just couldn't stand losing, dude. So people
and you still can't.
They ask me if I'm competitive. How's that for an answer? Yeah, I'm pretty competitive, man. So.
Yeah. I was going to say, well, I mean, if you do decide to get back into the pro wrestling thing, just understand again, they're going to just tell you to go out there, win or lose.
To be back into the pro wrestling, I got to be in I was never in pro wrestling in the first place, man. Anyways, just that's I don't know why I thought of Richard Dawson so much. But
because he was the man.
We were talking about game shows.
Because you were talking about him and Ravishing Rick Rude. I would also have to throw Burt Reynolds on that pile too, because I mean he was
Burt Reynolds always had a woman on his arm. That's
man. I was like, he was like the sex symbol during that time period of the late 70s, early 80s.
James Brolin too.
James Brolin.
Josh Brolin's dad, James.
Really? I didn't know that was his dad.
For some reason, maybe my grandma just used to watch all kinds of weird shows or obscure
dude,
shows.
she hit all the soaps.
Back in the day, you only had 3 channels.
Yeah.
Or if you had cable, I think you had USA or what.
Oh yeah. Eventually had cable. That's how I started watching wrestling, because we had USA Network. But there wasn't much else to do in the Valley, so cable was definitely a godsend. Card Shark, yeah, I remember watching Card Sharks and Joker's Wild. Those were a little bit later on. The Card Sharks is older.
That's when I started getting out of game. Like, I think I was really into like game shows or whatnot, like back in kindergarten before I started going to school.
So let me ask you this: is Hollywood Squares a game show because it has contestants?
Good pull. I forgot. And Circle gets the square.
Yeah, because it was like I really felt it was more about the celebrities, and you were watching.
It was more like the celebrities pulling one-liners and zingers, and it was
Ike coming in hot with the pyramid. Yes, that's right. Dick Clark used to host Pyramid. Yeah.
I don't know. That was kind of like
it was like, let's say there was like they give us a word.
Like I read a line or a symbol, and then you say. Or I'd be like, "This is what we did at the lake," and you'd say like, "You got trashed or whatnot."
Oh, it's more like they give you like a word, and then I'd be like, "You smoke out of it. You put green stuff in it," and then you're supposed to tell me like, "Oh, it's ding," and then we go to the next word.
Yeah. I got you. Okay, 25K pyramid. Got you. All right.
Yeah.
So, no, that I didn't watch that one that much. I mean, usually it was just Wheel. My top 3 was Wheel, Family Feud, and Bob Barker's Price is Right.
Price is Right, yeah, man. I mean, he's the man, though.
Right yesterday for Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers.
God, what a game! What a game!
Hell, I mean, we've gone 45 minutes without talking football. I think
because I'm still pissed about the Cowboys, but yeah. What a game.
Dude, well, I mean, Vent, go ahead. I'll give you a minute.
Dude, not only did we go and shit the bed, and I say we, like I play for the team, but that's how I felt. Because
I say that a lot.
But you know how I felt about going into this. This is the first year in like forever that I actually bought Dallas Cowboy gear because I felt pretty good about how the season was going to go. The defense was playing phenomenal. I bought that gear earlier in the season. I was ready for playoff football.
I know you're not a narcissist. I know. I'm joking.
Oh no, I'm definitely narcissistic, but I was ready for playoff football, my man. I was ready. I was like, we're going to at least make the NFC Championship game. We're going to play the 49ers, and worst comes to worst, that was a good season. I'm okay with that. But no, they come out, shit the bed against the Packers. Packers turned out to be pretty damn good because we saw that last night. They got a great running game. They just made one too many mistakes against a Niners defense and a Niners team that's just too complete.
What I mean, dude. All right, so let's.
But we brought back Mike McCarthy, bro. Like, why? I mean, when Belichick is available, why do we bring back McCarthy? Because we're just expecting the same results. And I'm starting to really think that it might be Dak.
Brought back McCarthy
because he's a yes man.
Because it's comfortable.
Exactly, he's a yes man. He's going to listen to Jones. But I'm like, now I'm really starting to think, like, it might be Dak. I mean, how do you come out and have that performance?
Justin, I got Dak as my MVP.
I mean, he's the MVP this year, but like, how?
Look, I mean, that loss was on Dak.
Yeah, man, and I'm a Tony Romo fan. I like Tony Romo, but he wouldn't really appear in the playoffs. He just had bad games.
All right, so because you said you're a Tony Romo fan, I like Tony too. I thought Tony was probably one of the best fantasy quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like the dude always, his floor was basically 20 points. Like you knew he was just going to come out and get you 20 points.
Exactly.
And dude, he had tons, especially when Dez was in his prime. Loaded. I mean, Tony Romo knew. It always like in the red zone, you knew it was going to be like a little bit of a fake handoff to Marion Barber, and then just a nice little dump in the in the back,
Jason Witten,
or maybe you might be able to hit Jason Witten, but usually it would be the fake to Barber and then hitting Barber in the flat. You know what I mean? Like it would be a play action to Barber, having the linebacker get sucked in and then drawn up on him, and then Barber would beat him to the spot and Romo would hit it. That was
Rest in peace,
that
man.
was the bread and butter, dude. That's why I would always stack. I would always go with a Romo and Barber stack, dude.
Yeah, dude. Rest in peace, Marion Barbarian.
Fine, Romo. Hell, that would have been the ultimate stack. But yeah, so this is my question. Romo for you, right? Romo or Dak?
Romo.
I got Dak. I think Dak's a better quarterback.
Nah, man, you didn't even hear me stutter. I didn't even have to take a second to think about it. As soon as you tell me,
I knew you were gonna hit me with it. I just
as soon as you like, if we can remove all the injuries, these guys are at their peak, and they're gonna play with the team that's built right now that Dak is working with. I still take Romo. Because finally, Romo would have the offensive line that we so needed him to have while he was playing.
That's a good point. That's something that I don't really take into consideration most of the time when I really think about
he had an awful offensive line, man. He was making looking like
that's why he had to improvise and scramble most of the time, right?
That's why he ended up getting hurt and breaking his collarbone twice, because he was always getting hit because he had to survive for his life. But I mean, he gets a lot of hate, but I mean, think about all the great off the field stuff he gave us too, like Jessica Simpson and Kelly Clarkson when he was dating like the prime 2000 blondes. He married Candace, right?
I
don't know who he married, man. I think she was a former like pageant model. He had a type.
Candace, if they're still married,
I'm pretty sure.
Candace a lot, so the name.
Yeah, I don't. I was more interested in his single life, back in the day. Now I'm just like, I think he's married. So
Jessica Simpson's a good pull. Is she batshit crazy? Which one's batshit crazy? Britney Spears.
Yeah, Spears.
Hell, they all might be. They're all.
I mean, dude, if you go through the gauntlet of the Hollywood system like that, you're probably gonna come out Kristen.
Dealing with local shit drives me nuts. I can only imagine what world,
dude,
like world news and world,
It's just like this just in. Adam Wagner steps out of house without boxers on. News at 11, and then everybody would have that all over for like a week.
If Adam Wagner steps out of the house with boxers on, there ain't no news there. Let me tell you something right there. You ain't getting any news. especially in this cold weather. Ain't any news going to be happening.
Hey,
That's
nothing
where
wrong
you
with being a
get-
grower
you
instead of a
still
shower.
repel off that thing, man, but you ain't doing anything now.
Dude, yeah.
My God, man. Anyways, dude, yeah. So I don't know. I'm more of a Dak guy. You still want to vent? Go ahead, dude. I think.
Nah, I think that was it. That was therapeutic, man. I was just upset about the McCarthy thing, really. I'm just like, what's the definition of insanity?
And I've heard a lot of Cowboys fans say this, right? You can't move on from Dak. Dak's your guy. I would gladly take Dak as a New York Giants quarterback. I'm serious. Welcoming arms. I'd make a bed for him here at the house. You know what I mean? I can't stand the Dallas Cowboys, but I'd take that. I'd take Dak in a heartbeat, man.
I think things just got interesting because Trey Lance is on the bench. And, like, if he really is what he's supposed to be, then...
He's not, Smash. He's not. Or if he was, he'd already be there.
Well, he got hurt, and he looked like he was shaping up to be what he was supposed to be. And then Brock Purdy came in and became Tom Brady 2.0. Well, I say 2.0. He looked pretty bad last night. He wasn't great, but he did enough for them to win. But I don't think anybody's beating the Ravens after the way that they beat the Texans, especially when it was like a neck and neck game until like the fourth quarter.
Yeah, let's get into that. Let's break down the Ravens first before we get into the 49ers and the Green Bay Packers, which was the later game in the first place. So after what you've seen, of course it's a sad ride that comes a little bit short than Texans fan wanted to happen. But I mean, hell, think about what you had. I would say that you were on house money with a rookie coach and a rookie quarterback. So,
yeah.
And the future is clearly bright with the young talent that you have in the wide receiver room as well. You could argue that this is one of the youngest teams in the NFL, right? And not to mention, I mean, my God, you thought maybe Dameon Pierce was going to be your bell cow running back, and you got a little bit of surprise with Singletary, man. Now you have two really decent running backs here to complement the decent. I can't even say decent play because it was MVP caliber play for a moment. You know what I mean? Or not just a moment for a damn quarter or half the season of the NFL
stretch
with CJ Stroud, man, and that's a rookie. So I think you have so much room to grow and put talent and toys around this young stud. If you're the Texans, man, future's bright.
I mean, the Texans
absolutely bright, and
Texans have a shot.
Your defense was pedestrian, but it's in the middle. It's in the middle of the league, and you could argue you shake that up just a little bit, or shore up a little bit of the the vulnerabilities there. Not only are you going to win the North, you're going to contest for the AFC crown.
Yeah, man, you're starting to feel like the Texans can have a possible Kansas City Chiefs moments.
Within 3 years, they'll be competing for the AFC championship smash.
As long as Stroud stays healthy, as long as he's healthy, I feel like he could, pull off some of that Patrick Mahomes magic. As long as he got the, a couple of more additions for him, and that defense kind of gets shored up. But they look like they can contend, and they're getting those new uniforms apparently next season. He made a terrible
throw. He made a terrible throw late in the game. But other than that, besides this game, and that's another, like, this game was a little bit of an anomaly for Stroud, and so was the game for Dak, right? I'm going to tell you had decent quarterback play, MVP quarterback play from Dak Prescott.
But dude, those interceptions, I was just like, how much more I just don't get it, because I was like, CeeDee Lamb and Dak looked like they were on the same path all season long, and then here in the playoffs,
the latter part of the season for sure.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden here in the playoffs, it's like it goes to shit. It's like like was somebody sleeping with somebody's girlfriend?
No.
Because that's what happens. Like, you've been on a football team in high school, right? At least
that didn't go down like that. It was an off night. It was just an off night.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes I think it's like deeper than that when it comes to performances like that.
You're gonna be able to run the ball, Smash. If you're running this team, what I mean. They're gonna be.
I'm with you there.
Off your pass. So
how much is that?
Go ahead.
How much is that of the offensive line, and how much is that Tony Pollard?
I think it's
because we had 3 All-Pros on the offensive line.
I don't think it's Tony Pollard. I don't think it's the line either. I just think it's play call. I think it's call selection. Yeah. I think you have to be. I think you have to be consistent with it. I think you have to stick with the damn run. You can't just bail on it after 3 or 4 plays. Oh, it's not looking good. Maybe we can get more yards per play, if we throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb or whatnot. You have to stick to the damn run, or at least make the defense I guess
you got to have him respect the run at the very
respect it and at least be true to the run. So
because I would love to go off a play action pass, you know.
And usually that's what McCarthy's offense is predicated off of, right? Like the big play happens because the run's been so dominant. And hell, you saw how much it benefited Jordan Love in Green Bay with having a decent ground and pound game with Aaron Jones.
Dude, he was phenomenal in the playoffs.
I say it unlocks the rest of the playbook. If you have a good run game, it unlocks the rest of the playbook.
Yeah, because you're forced to go one-on-one downfield because you have to step up for the run just in case.
It's like being able to. It's in basketball. If you're able to have decent handles, it unlocks everything else with your offense, right? But you have to be able to dribble first. If you can't dribble, you're not going to be able to do anything. You can't move with the ball. That kind of transitions over to football as well.
Let me ask you this. So I think we're all in agreement, but Lamar Jackson is quarterbacky enough to win the Super Bowl?
I've always thought Lamar Jackson was a quarterback. I never thought that he was a running back with a decent arm. I mean, the guy knows how to.
He's not. He's.
Do you follow Warren Sharp at all?
Excuse me?
Do you follow Warren Sharp at all? Warren Sharp football?
Oh yeah, I'll see it on X every now and then, like with some of the tweets.
So Warren Sharp has been showcasing how much of a quarterback Lamar Jackson has been over the past 5-6 years. Lamar Jackson's numbers are fantastic. Now you could say that a lot of his yards happen off of the yak or whatnot. The plays that he made last night against the Texans were not yak plays. I mean, that was a lot of extended plays with his legs and then able to find. I mean, the one that he found likely. I mean, he threaded the needle there. Like, I mean, hell, you could argue that it was an ill-advised pass.
Oh, it was.
The separation that he made with his legs opened up the window a little bit for likely to create separation. So.
There's only three other guys in the league that can make that pass, maybe,
or have the cojones to even throw the damn pass.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like Allen, Mahomes, but who else is going to be able to nail that pass? And Allen probably throws for an interception because it's Josh Allen.
I don't know. That's also a throw that's a time throw too. You know what I mean? Because it's just a small window or a small.
Exactly, and this is why I don't get the hate because like all of that stuff came together on that throw: power, timing, and extension of athletic ability and IQ to find it and look down and not have his eyes leave downfield while doing it. And I'm like, dude,
like everybody said that he was so reliant in the red zone with Mark Andrews too. Like Mark Andrews was making Lamar Jackson the success, half the success story that he is. Insert Isaiah Likely, and he's still able to. I can't say
not as dangerous as Andrews.
He's not supplementing as much as Mark Andrews did, but I mean, he's still one hell of a target. And also, I think Baltimore has found different ways to strike in the red zone without the play or performance of Mark Andrews.
And he's supposed to come back. They said AFC Championship game. He's going to do everything he can to play.
I don't think they need that would be tremendous to have him on the roster, but I don't think they need to rush him back, man. I think what they have with Likely is decent right now. And you saw San Francisco struggle. I mean, I was convinced yesterday or before yesterday that San Francisco was the absolute number one dominant team in the NFC. And
Me too.
Barring which way this goes today with Detroit and Tampa Bay, I think Detroit's going to get the nod here and go ahead of Tampa Bay. But regardless of who wins against Detroit and Tampa Bay, I think either of these teams can kind of contest with San Francisco. I thought that this defense from San Francisco, this 49er defense, was going to be so damn dominant and have Jordan Love nowhere near the type of success that he had or performance that he had yesterday against the 49ers. But hell, they were, up until the last drive, they were ready to win the damn ball game. And let's go to that last drive real quick.
They could have.
How in the hell do you, everybody saw it.
Mm-hmm.
You never played prevent. Please, if you're a defensive coordinator out there, please stop playing prevent. Please, because all you're doing, you're really taking time away from you to go back down and score. If that's the case, if your mindset is prevent defense, don't let anything behind us. Why don't you just line up one play, let the damn defense open up and let the offense go into the damn end zone and preserve 3 minutes of the damn clock. and go out there and because that's all you're doing. You're just preventing the inevitable. Prevent is just preventing the damn inevitable. That's all it does, Smash.
I'm with you.
They're either going to get 3 points or they're going to get the end zone anyways. And that's what happened with the damn Packers. And oh, by the way, why in the hell didn't you call a timeout? You let almost a minute. You let almost a minute run.
I know, man.
It was 3rd and 1. LaFleur, neglects to not call a damn timeout. 45 to almost a damn, what was it, 50 seconds?
Yeah, I felt like I was watching prime Mike McCarthy there.
Runs off. You don't get the stop to end with, and they convert. They don't even just convert. They get the damn touchdown or the touchdown. Terrible. You looked like a damn rookie coach. As a matter of fact, you got outschooled, outplayed, or matter of fact, it looked awful. It looked like you were kind of just giving the game away. But
that's exactly what happened.
You're not going to do that in a playoff, man. But it looked that damn bad, Smash.
Hard lessons to learn on a team that was playing with house money, just like the Texans, because nobody expected them to be here. But
it looks like they were on house money because they just said, you know what, it's late. I don't give a shit. Let's get out of here. Let's go home.
They weren't ready to be in that position. I think that's what it is. And it's just like, but I mean, I'm scared of them though. I mean, that dominant running game that they were able to show against what was arguably one of the better defenses in the NFL. I thought like, okay, Dallas is soft up the middle, and we just couldn't get any pressure on Jordan Love. We're going to have games like that, but the defense still didn't show up. But right. San Francisco should right the ship, and I was just like, nope. Had Aaron Jones jumping over dudes.
Deebo Samuel going down, that
did not help.
Being able to have him in the offense is going to be a little bit of a step
CMC
back for the 49ers. But
I was impressed with
Kittle dropped some balls, or Kittle had one huge drop, as a matter of
fact. Yeah, I saw that, and I was shocked because I was like, dude, he dropped it of all guys. What's up, Rube?
I see you, buddy. I see you, man.
But what about
didn't look as dominant that I thought that they would be? So
no,
I definitely think that they can get got.
Does it rely
right now? It's the Ravens, Smash.
But does it rely on Christian McCaffrey to make sure that the Niners get to the Super Bowl?
I don't think so. I think it's on Brock Purdy.
Ah, man, and right now,
Brock Purdy was kind of manageable yesterday, and it kind of showed, right? I mean, it wasn't a dominating victory from the 49ers. It was just a clean performance. It was basically the last drive of the game. You know what I mean? Where Brock Purdy goes clean, and honestly, Green Bay opened up and let San Francisco march completely down the damn field.
I'm with you there, but he still made the passes that he needed to hit, so I'll give him that.
But I mean, they were giving him 8 yards per pop. Like
that does help.
They were backing everything off, and Kittle was getting Ayuk. I mean, one really tough conversion with Ayuk on a 3rd and 8 maybe. Or it wasn't even a 3rd and 8. I think it was a 2nd and 8 or whatnot. And they converted or might not even have converted, just might have set up for like a 3rd and short. But still, I mean, it really was like 8 yards per game or per play on that last drive for the 49ers.
I kind of feel that's like a lot of pressure still. It's like he doesn't have to be the guy that wins the game, but he has to make sure he's the guy that doesn't lose the game, you know?
DJ says right here, man, he's got to be the point guard. He's just got to distribute. He's just got to get the open guy the ball. That's it. And then,
he just got to play smart.
Kittle's got to get the yak. If Debo's healthy, he's got to be able to get the yak. I still got to get a report on Debo. I didn't look into that.
Yeah, because what was it? He came back, but he didn't play. He just sat on the sidelines without pads last night. I didn't follow up on that.
He left the locker room out of the second half with no pads or whatnot.
But I mean, as long as Christian McCaffrey's healthy,
they still have the damn weapons. San Francisco does, and it's product of the system. It's scheme there.
But who would have thought that we would be talking about the Detroit Lions and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a playoff game to decide who's going to go to the NFC Championship game?
Who do you like here?
The Lions.
Do you?
I mean, I was never one of those guys that truly hated Baker Mayfield. I always thought
you know what? I'm not a Baker hater too. Should we be Baker haters?
We should because we live here. But I mean, he went to Lake Travis, so it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, but it's like he hates on the Longhorns.
I know he does. That's why I'm just kind of like I get it because he went to Oklahoma, so makes sense.
Hates on the Longhorns.
It makes sense.
I get it, dude. Don't go. I get it. But still, like, it's hard for me to not like Baker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
it's the moxie. He doesn't. He's not even really doing the moxie that much anymore, man.
No,
you know I mean?
I always felt
he's having fun, but I don't think he's being the brash Baker that he used to be.
Is this appropriate? I always felt that he was what Johnny Manziel should have been.
That's a really good pull, I think.
Like, do you listeners or you viewers out there agree with that? Yeah,
if Johnny gave it to everybody in chat, put a 1 in chat if you agree with that statement right there, or 2 if you don't. Or is Baker more than Johnny? Well, clearly Baker.
Yeah, right now, at least as a pro, obviously, yes. But I kind of feel like he could at least had that kind of trajectory in his career if he cared as much as Baker Mayfield does care. Because admittedly, that guy cares.
I feel like Johnny really benefited. I mean, hell, and you could argue that this is kind of what's happening with Baker right now. I feel like Johnny benefited from Mike Evans.
Mike Williams. Yeah.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans, my bad. That's right.
I feel like without Mike Evans, neither of these quarterbacks would have the success that they're having right now. I mean, I've mentioned this, on a few shows. Jerry Rice has 14 seasons of 1,000 yards. Do you know how many Mike Evans has?
I think he just got to his 10th or something like that.
10th season, and I believe he's second in terms of 1,000-yard seasons.
Mm-hmm. They said something like he would have to play like another 10 years at the clip that he's playing at right now just to even get close to Jerry Rice or something like that. Dude, isn't that crazy how good Jerry Rice was in an era where it wasn't as pass dominant?
But also Jerry Rice had a longevity too. Like Jerry Rice played for a long time.
Oh, dude, I remember watching those videos as a kid about his training regime and during the off season, catching bricks still, even as an older guy. Because his dad was a bricklayer, and that's how he got the soft hands. And this guy went to an FCS school.
Small notch above Manziel as far as the liability. No, I got you there. I still like I think Baker's playing – you want to talk about house money. Baker's playing on damn house money too, especially for the Buccaneers to be able to win last week against Philadelphia without having a performance from Godwin or a huge performance from Godwin or Mike Evans.
Dude,
right?
the only thing that made
that Baker's relying on Mike Evans, but Mike Evans didn't really have that decent of a performance last week. Yeah, dude, you want to talk about the playoff? What playoff football? A necessity for playoff football. It's the ground and pound. It's a running game.
Mm-hmm.
White is looking fantastic out of the backfield right now for the Buccaneers.
He's been doing it all year.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
He was a good fantasy player for the most part this year.
You got to think in the teams that are in this thing right now have really decent running games. I mean, it's just it goes to you have to be able. Of course, it's a quarterback-driven league. I understand that, but you have to be able to run the ball, especially late in the season. Because
it always goes back to that. Every year, I feel like we have the same conversation, right?
It's crazy because these the running backs aren't even paid. Of course, you're not going to pay the running back. You're not going to pay the person on your roster that's going to take the most brutalized hits or whatnot and come out, always knocked up or with an injury. But damn, man, it's tough as hell. It is tough as hell to not want to pay your running back, but also acknowledge the fact that without a running game, you wouldn't even be in the playoffs, or a decent running game, you wouldn't be taking a deep dive into the playoffs like most of these teams are.
I mean, that's what made the Packers so successful.
The spread on the Buccaneers and the Lions right now. Lions are favored 6. Lions are favored 6. Oh, by the way, you want to talk about the Lions, right? Lions, not Lions. How about the Longhorn game last night, right? Or yesterday,
dude.
Rather.
Yeah, minus 2.5.
2.5. Favored 2.5. They're not even ranked. They're favored 2.5 over the number 9 Baylor team. And oh, by the way, Baylor covers.
Yeah. Baylor still covered. Covers? That was a weird line, man. Because
Baylor covers.
I don't know who put that out. I saw it actually on the Texas Sports Unfiltered tweet or X or
the channel. And that's one hell. That is one hell. And the quote, the adage of that tweet was the casinos didn't build themselves, right? Well,
yeah.
Clearly, I mean that's one hell of a line to hit. Holy shit!
Yeah, because I was all like, "Who's going to take that at 2.5?" Because I'm just like, "Why would you take that at 2.5?"
And whoever smashed that, God, you got broken hearts or God? Now you're
look. I'm not the best at this game
because you just hit a lot of money and you're about to go buy a damn Porsche or whatnot. So
yeah, I'm definitely known Tom McKay at this, but I could have even told you
to buy a nice Chevy from Covert.
That would be nice.
Fun.
Always.
Fuck yeah, it would. All right, man. Let's talk a little bit about these games today. We, teased it and dressed down the games from Saturday. Now we got to talk about Buccaneers and the Lions, my guy. We teased.
Still can't believe that.
Man. You got Baker taking down Detroit here, or do you have Detroit actually riding this thing out? Detroit favored by 6.
Yeah, and I mean Detroit at home. You figure that they're going to be loud. You figure that place is going to be rambunctious. Tom is saying on the line.
Detroit stops the run, or excuse me, Detroit stops the pass well.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm wrong. I'm back.
They got Hutchinson
stops the run well, but they struggle to stop the pass, even though that they do have what you were just talking about. They got Aiden Hutchinson. They got the Hutch man right there. They still struggle to stop the pass as well as they need to. Are you worried a little bit about Baker in the wide receiver room getting busy and being able to take down Detroit here? I mean, Detroit's only favored 6.
Yeah, but not necessarily, because I feel like the Lions actually have the weapons on offense, and we saw them be able to come back from behind against the Rams. So, that might be Goff's coming of age moment. Because, I mean, this guy was a top tier pick. There's a reason why he's still playing, right? And there's a reason why the Lions were willing to accept him part of that trade for Stafford, and get Goff back. And so far it's proven, I mean, this has been the best run that the Lions have had since 1990,
Sam
right?
Laporta still rookie sensation tight end Sam Laporta is still questionable right now.
He's going to play.
Suit up. Yeah, I'd like to think that he'd suit up.
He's getting whatever injection he needs today to be out there. You know it. We've all seen Any Given Sunday, or what was that one from ESPN? Game Breakers or whatever it was called.
Game Breakers. That was so.
That was raw, dude.
Or whatever. And
yes.
Questionable that I think it was only lasted one season.
Yeah, because after that they got the NFL contract, and the NFL told them no more. But it was good. It was promising TV. I think the Lions.
That was game revolutionary almost.
I mean, for 2003,
something that the NFL did not want out there, I would think, right? That was a kind of a little bit of a black eye on the NFL.
Dude, I'm thinking about starting. I'm thinking about starting like a web series where I go back and rewatch like old things. Like I saw. Did you ever watch The White Shadow?
I did not. Oh yeah,
the one about
basketball. 70s basketball.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man! That was a good show, dude. Well, I mean,
So I want to go back and stream that and like kind of have like a watch along with people. But I also want to do that for like NFL games, so like the kids nowadays can really go back and see like how brutal, like intensely brutal football was even 20 years ago.
Late hit like the ball just bouncing off of him, and then all of a sudden you just get a forearm and you don't even get a flag on that, man.
Dude, do you remember those blindside hits? Laying them on, special teams. Crackback blocks. Yeah, man. So I'm just all like, dude, I would love to do something like that. And I'm thinking that Detroit, though, I want them to have success so bad, because Tampa Bay was one of those futile franchises that actually won Super Bowls eventually when Tom Brady shows up, right? I'm not saying Goff is Tom Brady. But he doesn't even have to play as like Tom Brady. He just has to be decent today for them to win, because I think the rest of the team is so strong.
I'm with you there, man. I like Detroit. I think they're running. Both of these teams have decent ground and pound games, right? I think that Detroit's just got a little bit more in the tank than Tampa Bay does, especially when you're able to change pace with Montgomery and Gibbs here. I think if Detroit does win in dynamic fashion or emphatic fashion, you'll see Gibbs probably get close to the century mark. I'm guessing maybe Montgomery gets around 70 yards as well. Maybe
forgot about Montgomery.
Maybe the pair kind of split between 70 apiece, or somewhere around there. But you're probably going to see Gibbs really impact the game in the passing effect, right? Like being able to get after it and have Jared Goff be able to just check down a little bit and maybe hit Gibbs 3 or 4 times to kind of keep the defense off pace and off balance there, and open a little bit things up for Reynolds and St. Brown as well.
St. Brown's been really good.
Like St. Brown, like for me, man, like I'm trying to be able to stack Goff and St. Brown in this DraftKings contest that I have going down. It's it's too tough.
Dude,
It's
how are you even playing the playoffs? It's so difficult when it gets to this part to go with the daily fantasy, just because everybody's just the pricing is just like I don't know how you even can build a decent team.
It's all on budget. Now I did break yesterday. I took Lamar Jackson, and thankfully
you did.
Worked out for me. He got me 40, close to damn 40 points.
What was it? 2 rushing, 2 passing touchdowns, right?
Also, like he carved it up in the air and on the ground, so yards get calculated into points too. They accrue into points as well.
Sweet.
So my other quarterback that I have right now rolling out, I'm rolling a 2 quarterback format in DraftKings for the playoffs, right? So we rolled out Lamar Jackson. He got me close to 40. Now I also have Jared Goff. Now, how do I get Jared Goff with the stack with St. Brown? Because they haven't played today, right? I can still kind of, move my roster, make finicky my roster just a little bit there to kind of, get the optimal setting. But I don't think there's any way possible that I can get St. Brown and Jared Goff in the same stack without.
Dude, I'm a big St. Brown fan.
I've already gotten rid of McCaffrey, or McCaffrey's already played. So there's that.
I mean, at least you had Christian, so that's good. But I'm just all like,
Tom McKay, unfortunately, he's got to get back to work. Keep up the good work. Hey, thank you, Tom McKay. We appreciate you there. He also says Goff had to win the game. He is emotionally wasted. Mayfield is a winner who is always emotionally high. Take the points. You can add 500 for me. Damn, I don't have a bookie. Well, guess what? He's got a cousin. He's definitely got a cousin. Make sure you guys are tuning in to Tom McKay and Texas Sports Unfiltered all throughout this hockey season. Hey, hockey All-Star game getting ready to pop up, man. So
I'm looking forward to that.
What's that? Yeah, dude. So, okay, NHL, and I don't think that this is a hot take anymore, right? Like, I know that, NBA All-Star Weekend's fantastic, but if you really want to break it down, like when you look at the NHL All-Star Weekend, that has got the best damn games or the best events in all of the All-Star. I mean, first off, NFL Pro Bowl. Who the hell watches the Pro Bowl anymore? Like, do you tune into it?
I was like, did you see my face when you said Pro Bowl? Like, my eyes just went up. I was like, I completely forgot about that.
Where's the Pro Bowl at this year?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm sad that it's no longer in Hawaii because I kind of felt like that made it more important.
I went and saw a Pro Bowl at Hawaii live. Brandon Marshall, it was like it might have been the last game that they had in Hawaii. Brandon Marshall went off. Like, I've just torched everybody. But they didn't play any and I saw that like firsthand, at the Aloha Bowl. They didn't play anybody. Like, they didn't play any damn defense.
No, you're never going to get defense.
It really wasn't even two-hand touch, man. So
I really wish they would
pay attention to the damn Pro Bowl. It might be the skill challenges at the Pro Bowl, but the Pro Bowl sucks, Smash.
Okay, the only reason why I even watch the the skill challenges, and I don't watch it live, I'll catch the highlights, is because I don't know if you remember, but growing back, they had the NFL quarterback challenge. Like, it was like the NFL quarterback club.
The longest throw or accurate pass.
Yeah, because it had all the greats. It had Marino, Aikman, Kelly, Esiason, like all of those guys were competing at this, NFL, because it was by the NFL Player Association. It was the quarterback club challenge, and they were the NFL quarterback club. That was like a big deal in the middle 90s. And I used to watch that. Like, what I really want to see is, like, I think these guys just need to play flag football against each other for a Pro Bowl. But what I really want to see, Wags, is I want to see a fat man game. I just want to see all linemen go against each other in the Pro Bowl, like lineman quarterback, lineman wide receivers, and let them just go at it for, like 15 minutes in a game of flag football and see who are the better athletes. I would watch that.
What about a lineman touchdown celebration?
Like challenge?
Yeah. Like
make these guys choreograph? I think that'd be okay. I'm just trying to figure out a way to make the Pro Bowl something worth athletically watching, because like you were talking about how hockey,
it's not
like the game. The game is the most fun besides baseball and hockey. I think those are probably the best all-star games. NBA All-Star, the game isn't the focal point. It's really about the weekend and everything that's going around it. Like, that's like the social spot to be, is NBA All-Star Weekend, and I would still love to go to one.
The NHL hockey game is what makes it so compelling. Like, to have the 4 teams go out there and not just, and I guess that's what it is for me. It's 4 teams. It's the divisions squaring off instead of just the conferences, right? Like, I don't know. It's small unit leadership, maybe. That's what is more compelling for me. I don't know. And anyways, to me,
I
and
mean, how
also,
often do you
I
think
like
about the
pro game
Roman
too
Legion?
for hockey for NHL weekend as well. Like, I like to see who the fastest skater is in the NHL. I like to see who
Hardest
hits the
shot.
hardest slap shot, who's the most accurate. And, it all transitions, and NBA has it's like you were saying with the NBA. How they have their skill events. I just think all in all, NHL weekend has the most entertaining weekend of them all with the skill set and the actual game itself.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that because
I would say the All-Star game for baseball is probably the most intriguing, right?
Is it because it means something, or is it just because it's like the mid-summertime classic?
I guess it has a little bit of incentive, right? And not just it's not just or hell, the NBA, since they incentivized, how much money they get for a bonus, if they actually win the damn game. I guess that makes them compete a little bit more towards the end of the game, but it's still.
I mean, I like the scoring
also,
structure.
They can win the quarter now too, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like you can win the quarter, and then you can,
that
and then they
feels
go.
A little
But
bit more to me like MTV Rock and Jock basketball. I felt
that's what would make the. If the NBA All-Star Game would just turn it into Rock and Jock, but just use NBA players, and we had like the 40-point back, like I would be all over that. Like, why don't they do that? It's so easy.
It was what? It was a 10-point shot or a 25-point shot if they hit the 50-foot rim.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was like something crazy. It was like
me of the sports that you would play in gym class, so where you would have dodgeball, but you would have to throw the ball from full court to make the full court shot to do the jailbreak to get all the prisoners out of the dodgeball jail or whatnot.
Yeah,
that reminds me of that's what an All-Star weekend should be—a wacky, crazy game. I don't know, but also,
with the best possible athletes.
Well.
But it's like you were talking about Rock and Jock. I'm also thinking about like NBA Jam. That was the closest that we had to a real life NBA Jam because you had the point spots on the floor anywheres where you could hit like a 3-pointer and it was worth 5 points, or you could go back even further.
I don't think I played that in NBA
Tournament
Jam.
Edition.
Did Jam have a Turbo NBA Jam?
No, Tournament Edition had like extra things where you would put in different codes, and then like that was one of them where it would have like point values on different spots on the court. And I think
I must have gotten out of video games at that portion of my life.
So. Yeah, that is weird though. People don't really remember sometimes. It's like, oh, it's cool to kind of be a geek now. Like you can be a gamer and that's fine. But back then you'd be like, nah, man, I was out. I was out. I was talking to the chicks. I was on my phone. I wasn't playing, Kingdom Hearts.
Man, right there, from ape to
nice.
Man playing arcade machines, right there.
I like it. But, there was a point in time where you just couldn't really admit that. You just had to be like, nah, dude, I'm into girls and I don't play video games. Yeah, that's nerd stuff.
Well, that's kind of my teenage years, pretty much. But actually, out of all my friends, I was the one that honestly stayed playing video games all the time.
Oh, I never stopped, man. Like when GoldenEye came out, I was all over it.
I got back into video games when the Nintendo 64 and GoldenEye came out, and then I kind of went away a little bit more. And then when the PlayStation 2 came out, that's when I kind of got back into video games.
Couldn't resist it, man.
Yeah, like Metal Gear, Navy SEAL SOCOM.
All the sports games,
Madden,
NCAA,
2K, NBA 2K was starting to actually beat out NBA Live. I remember everybody loved NBA Live for EA NBA Live, but then NBA 2K started kicking its ass.
Shoot, I remember when FIFA wasn't. But I remember FIFA wasn't even the better game. It was Winning 11 or Pro Evolution Soccer now, or eSoccer.
I don't even remember that.
The Konami one, that was the one that all my friends from Mexico played because they were like, nah, this is the one that plays better than FIFA. And I was like, oh, okay. Didn't know.
All right. Well, okay. So Detroit and Buccaneers -6. I'm going to take Detroit here. I think Detroit's the better running team, even though the Buccaneers have been, fantastic at it all season long. I think Detroit's starting to run. I think Detroit's running the ball a lot better at this point. Especially over the past 2 weeks. I also think that they're where they can get got. I think the Buccaneers have the better wide receiver room, clearly. But it all comes down to quarterback play, man. And I think the most consistent quarterback right now in this game is Jared Goff, and he's like as good as Baker's been. I still think Jared Goff is the better quarterback. And when it comes down to winning a playoff game, you got to have a decent running game, and you got to have tremendous quarterback play, or at least manageable quarterback play. And I think you're going to get that on the Detroit sideline more than you'll see that on the Tampa Bay sideline today.
Man, I hate to say this, but I think I don't hate to say this. It's just I really
we're allowed to disagree. It's America.
I know, but I'm just like I think I'm on the same wavelength with Tom right now. I'm really thinking about it. It's like I think it's going to be a close game. It really does seem like the Lions can't win by more than 3 points.
It's -6 for a reason. You know what I mean? They don't think it's going to be a blowout.
No, but I think it's going to be like what Tom said. I think
after what you saw after Detroit, after how Tampa Bay played last week against
the Eagles. But then again, like,
why wouldn't you think that they'd be able to come out here and put up a decent performance against?
Because I feel like the NFC East is a sham. Like we just saw the Eagles and the Cowboys not perform, and the Eagles were already.
Lions passing defense is pretty suspect, right? Like it can get got. It's vulnerable. Right?
Yeah, and we saw that. And we saw that against LA. But the thing is, here it's just like, man, it really is going to come down to the quarterbacks, and it's all like obviously Baker's emotionally a leader, and he's going to get a lot of the talk. I think pregame going into this matchup. I'm thinking though that he might get too emotional, and he might be the cause of an issue to where they lose the game because he might try to make a play that he can't make.
Or what? Just like, I got you.
Like he's going to try to be the gunslinger. He's going to throw it into a window late because, he's so pumped and amped, and he's going to try to carry this team because he has to emotionally.
He's played pretty damn clean football, the past couple of weeks, man. I don't
know. I'm with you there too.
Last week, I don't think maybe he throws one to Detroit, but here's the thing: like what we saw last week is that Detroit got a little bit exposed in their secondary, right? Mm-hmm. And of course, that was.
But that's with a really good receiving core.
Stafford, you know what I mean, and a really good wide receiver room. But also, that's what you're getting right now. I mean, I would say that Matt Stafford's one hell of a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. But still, Baker Mayfield with the wide receivers that he has at his disposal right now can do exactly what Matt Stafford did last week against this Detroit Lion team. That's
a good point.
I'm sitting here. I'm taking Detroit, but I'm reluctantly taking Detroit with the 6. I would love it to be 7. I would feel a lot. Even though it's only 1 point, man, I would still love it to be. I feel a lot more comfortable with 7. I might tease it up too. Tease it up to hell if I can get it at 8, that'd be even a little. I don't know how much I'd have to surrender for the teaser up, but
dang, even -8, you feel comfortable. Jeez.
Yeah, just 2 points. 2 points, man. Give me 2 points more than just 6 here. I mean, 2 more points than just 6. 6 isn't sexy. 6 isn't sexy for me, man.
No, I get it, man, but I just don't feel it.
This could be wrong team favored. You know what I mean? Like
that's the other thing too, right? Tampa Bay has to.
Detroit's been really fantastic at home. I think they're 6. What are they? They're 6-2 at home.
Yeah.
And that crowd is galvanizing, and it's electric right now. So you got to think that this is the furthest they've been in 40 years.
Yeah, dude.
I
oh
can't
my
even
gosh.
do the math. Maybe 60 years here.
No, it's been 1990,
91. No, they didn't even get this far. They didn't even get this
No, this
is as far as they got.
No, this is as far as they got because they almost got to the NFC Championship game, but they lost to the Redskins.
Washington beat them.
Right? The team known as the Redskins at the time. Yeah, so they beat them.
They beat Dallas, and then the next week lost to Washington. And of course, that's when Washington had like Mark Rippon and
the Canadian Art Monk
and the posse, Gary Clark, Art Monk, and Ricky Sanders, baby.
Oh, Ricky Sanders, yeah, bro. I was a big.
Who's the running back for the Redskins back then, or Washington back then?
Was it still Riggs at that point?
No.
Was he still playing? No. Would have been the very end of his career.
I want to say it was I want to say he was out of the league in 2 years after that.
I can't.
Because it wasn't even Theismann that was the running back. It was Doug Williams that was the quarterback.
Oh, that was the 80s. The 83 team?
Correct, you're right. I just got done saying that it was Mark Rippon as a damn.
Yeah.
I can't think of the running back. Mitchell? Was it Brian Mitchell?
I think he was the returner, and he was like the second back.
The third,
But
the third down back.
yeah, like third down backs were way different in the early '90s. Like you really didn't have a third down back.
Like Dave Meggett. Dave Meggett could win you the damn ball game.
Dude, I love Dave Meggett, man. That guy could do it all.
State University, Dave Meggett, right there. Shout out to Towson State. All right, so I'm gonna, reluctantly gonna take Detroit here. Let's get into probably the marquee matchup, what everybody wants to see. You could,
dude. It says it's Ernest Biner.
Ernest Biner, thank you so much. It was Ernest Biner. It was,
and there was a Gerald Riggs on that team.
Riggs.
That's
Gerald
where
Riggs.
I was like, "There's some Riggs on that team somewhere." I was like, "I know something." Okay,
Gerald Riggs, Mitchell.
Dude, but good call on the wide receiver haul though, man. Like Monk, Sanders, Clark, like
Ricky
those guys
Sanders,
were awesome.
Man, Ricky Sanders was a speed demon, dude. He was a slot guy.
Dude, they would run him on the reverses during that season just because he was so fast.
Joe Gibbs in the triple tray. What is it? The counter tray. What now?
Yeah.
Honor.
Oh, that reminds me. Mark Schlereth was on that team.
Washington was loaded. That team was loaded, dude.
Yeah, dude. They had a nasty offensive line that year too. So.
Kansas City and Buffalo here, Smash. Pull up Gamecast as we see the breakdown of this. 57 of the nation going with the Bills here. Nobody circles the wagons like the Bills. Of course, we know that's what Berman says a lot. My God, only 3 to Buffalo with the home field advantage. Of course, the patrons of Buffalo, people that were having season tickets or I guess playoff tickets for the game today, was asked to bring a shovel if they were going to contribute to move the snow. Now, look, the Bills were actually, Bills organization was paying people $20 an hour to shovel snow upon arrival today to the game. So
today too,
please dress warm, dress accordingly. Bring your own shovel though, because they will be too few and far between. But yeah, you got to shovel out your seating or whatnot at the stadium for Buffalo. Heavy snow is expected. I would say.
Dude, do you trust the Bills Mafia with a bunch of shovels after the third quarter, after all that alcohol? I don't. I'm just saying, I love Bills Mafia, bro, but that's
who's going to come back and collect the shovels? You know what I mean?
That's
sure, bring the shovels, but who's collecting the shovels?
That's what I'm saying. Are they saying like, hey,
you got to have a shovel turn in.
Come on, man.
We got to have like an armory there or something, or a big gearbox or a gear storage, to bring in the shovels, because if it gets too bad, people get suplexed on tables. Can you imagine? Hey man, see if you can put the damn shovel through my head.
Dude, that's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. And can you imagine if they lose this game and you have it with shovels? No, man, no, you don't want that. Dude, yeah, dude. People are gonna be driving home without windshields after this game if they lose because of those shovels.
All right, so let's break this down, man. Patty Mahomes and company struggled to find some receivers, but of late been able to find.
Nobody can catch anything. Not even Kelsey.
It's been a bad performance with the hands team, right? You'd think that they'd like to get the hands a little bit better here for the wide receivers, but Rice seems to emerge like Mahomes'
I like
favorite.
Rashid.
Besides Kelsey, Kelsey, we obviously know, he's going to be triple teamed, but you got to get the King in the balls. King Kelsey can get away with it, probably 13 to 16 points here for your fantasy haul, if that's the route you wanted to go. I went two tight end set here, but I went with Likely and down the middle George Kittle. So I feel like I don't want to. I'm not going to pay that much for Kelsey and not get the 25 points that Kelsey usually would give.
I'm with you.
Last year, right?
I just don't see it happening.
Or I can't pay for a top tier tight end like that and not get the return. So yeah, that's why I elected to go. And I did the past 2 weeks. I usually don't put a 2 tight end format out there, meaning I don't elect to put a tight end in my flex spot, but it's worked out very well for me the past 2 weeks. And I think it's because of I don't want to say that quarterbacks are going and being conservative now, but they definitely don't want to throw the ball away and give the defense more or give the opposition more opportunities to go down and score, right? That's why I think, coaches go back to Old Faithful with the whole ground and pound approach and kind of let the quarterback manage the game, where as far as, trying to blow the doors off of defense and trying to have like a 45-point performance from your offense like they do in the regular season. I think they try and approach it a different way because they don't want to make a mistake, Smash.
Yeah, they're more afraid to lose the game than 100%. Try to actually go out there and win it. And I'm with
I don't
you.
know why the mentality changes so much when you get to the playoffs. I know that clearly the stakes are higher. Lose and go home. But still, I mean, I think your journey throughout the regular season gave you the confidence to go with the type of mindset or philosophy, coaching philosophy that got you to the playoffs, right?
Yeah, no,
Why
I'm
change
with
it
you.
now?
But like we saw it with the Cowboys a couple of
And it
weeks
came,
ago,
and a
though.
bit of it. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
when you change up your tendency, sometimes it's good to break tendency, but that's only if the opposition has honed in on you to where you can't do what you do best.
exactly. But that wasn't the case. And I was like, I saw them running the ball on first down more than ever in that playoff game than they had all season. I'm like, we're a first down throwing team. Why aren't we doing it? And we're just leaving Dak out there to try to make plays that he's not going to be able to make right now because everybody's playing bad. And it was just like, yeah, dude, perfect
And I get
storm.
it, like stick with the ground and pound, try and make that a prominent part of your attack, but
That's not
damn,
their
dude,
identity. It wasn't their
if
identity
not, I
this
mean,
year.
Do what I loved the fact that Sarkisian would run the ball, but I mean, he knew how to actually get the most optimal settings out of his running backs, right? Or optimal yards and optimal performances out of his running backs. He knew that he had high tempo offense, right? He knew that he would get more success running the ball later in the game as opposed to the beginning of the game, right? Like, you don't have to abandon your run just because you're not getting 4 yards a pop or 5 yards a pop. Go back to your run later on after the defense is worn down because of your high tempo offense.
Dude, don't you think it's funny how everybody was concerned that he was going to leave for Alabama, and instead all those Alabama players are just coming to Texas?
Yeah, like I mean, and of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't give Sarkisian and the Longhorns their love. Yeah, a lot. So look, you're seeing the fallout of Saban leaving, man.
Dude, how crazy is that we have Saban and Belichick both lead their dynasties in the same year?
And Carroll,
Pete and Pete Carroll too, man. So weird. It's like my childhood kind of just.
Talking about this with Rodney, man, changing of the guard for sure. I don't know if Belichick's done.
Nah, he's not done. I think he still has it.
I thought he was, but then remember, Belichick's very close to being all-time winningest coach, and you'd like to think that he wants that and as an accolade before he kind of exits stage right. I mean, he's going into the Hall. We know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to solidify him as the all-time winningest coach, regardless of how long it stands, would still be an accolade that he would want.
Does his like legacy? It doesn't depend on this, obviously, but do you think for his own legacy that he wants to kind of pull like a Kobe Bryant here, where he's trying to win without Tom Brady?
That's where I'm at. I'm with you right there too. Like I don't think he needs it to solidify his legacy. I think it's already there and he's in the Hall, but I think he wants it just for his own mindset, his own psyche, right? Like, hey, I did all this with Tom. I'd like to kind of, get these last couple without Tom. I mean, it's hard to not have a conversation about Brady and Belichick without having either of them in the conversation as a supporting factor, right?
I guess it's just because we saw Brady go off and do it without him. So it's kind of like he already had his Kobe moment where he was able to go to Tampa with Bruce Arenas. And don't get me wrong, I like Bruce Arenas, but he doesn't have the pedigree.
That's a really good situation for Tom Brady to fall in, though. I mean, like, you could argue that the pieces around him were already set up. And
well, I mean, he got Gronk to come out of retirement to go play with him,
That was the one thing. That's the only other piece that the Buccaneers needed. You could argue that they didn't even need that because they had who's the damn 2 tight ends that they had down there? They had 3 damn decent tight ends. I can't remember their tight ends, but I'd say they're decent.
But they were both good. I remember that. Like, they were both good guys that could go out and block and catch.
That 2-way tight end. So
but Gronk just put it over the top because he's just one of those true mismatches of the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. He's a nightmare mismatch, man. When you try and when you try and beef your defense up to try and stop the run or trying to get a little bit more physical with Gronk, he's just going to blow a damn linebacker away. So you almost got to put a strong safety on Gronk, or you almost had to.
But then he's just going to out-jump him, and he's going to be bigger than them.
That's why he had the bracket. He was a fucking nightmare.
I am disappointed that he really didn't pursue that post-WWE career like he said he was.
Man, I'm kind of enjoying Gronk as a damn pundit, dude, as one of the guys on the team of CBS. Or is it CBS that he's on, or is it Fox?
I think it's CBS.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. No, he's with Strahan, right?
Is
or am I
he?
wrong?
No, I thought.
I gotta go back.
Yeah, man, I haven't really been paying attention to the pregame so much as I have been just watching the games. Like, the Dallas thing really kind of destroyed me for a week, man. Like, I was so excited about that game, so excited, and then just like it. I'm kind of like hate watching the NFL playoffs right now.
Hate watching it? 'Cause you just
No,
want
like hate watch. You know, it's kind of like when you see, like when. How do I explain hate watching? It's like pro wrestling. Like there were points of it where it's so bad. Like I'm just watching it to hate on it.
I hate watch Marvel at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah. Okay, so like if the movie just isn't good, but you're just watching it just so you can be like it sucks.
It's like this. You hate watch Marvel now just to see if there's going to be any type of revelation coming forward for the next villain or whatnot.
Any of these characters.
I mean, case in point, you let WandaVision, right? We had White Vision 3 years ago in WandaVision, and we ain't seen a glimpse of White Vision since.
Nope. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of that
just to see if we're gonna see White Vision somewhere down
the line. Some of this is because of the writer's strike. You have to remember we went through a guild.
I'll give you that, but I also think it's terrible writing.
It is.
And it's agenda-based writing.
Let's
be real. It's agenda-based writing.
It's lazy, and it's just because you already know. Like, actually, I've been watching a lot about this here recently for some reason. It's like Hollywood's having this problem, right? Where it's all like, okay, back in the day, we used to go see movies because of the big stars that were going to be in it. Right. But now it's like, well, if we're going to go see Chris Evans in a movie, we're not going to go see a Chris Evans movie. We were watching him in Captain America because he was Captain America. That's what was selling the product was Captain America, not Chris Evans. So now we're having this issue where like Warner Brothers, right? They just paid a shitload of money to Tom Cruise for him to leave Paramount, or I guess they're owned, but he's leaving Paramount and going over to the WB. And I'm just all like, you mean to tell me the guy that was like the movie star of the 80s is still the movie star of Hollywood?
You know why?
Because they haven't created new stars.
No, because he keeps reinventing himself.
Oh yeah, he's like the Madonna of movie stars, though. I will say that. Yes,
you want to talk about someone that's extreme? Tom Cruise is extreme. Tom Cruise doesn't just do a crazy over the top stunt one time. He does it until the shot is right.
And he wasn't always like this.
I'm talking about like him. He doesn't get a stunt man. A mission. I got goosebumps telling.
He does a lot of his own stunts, and a lot of the real insane ones.
The Mission Impossible series, right?
Yeah.
Where he takes the fucking the motorcycle and jumps off the cliff. And then
he does that.
Does a base jump off of that. That's Tom Cruise.
I mean,
that was not a one shot take. They did that more than once.
That's like the only reason to go watch these movies is to see him do crazy stuff like that.
And like everybody says, oh well, we got to see the running scene. There's going to be a scene
there always is one.
Running. Yeah, but I mean, he does action very well, man. He made was it Reacher?
I was going to say he's the original Jack Reacher.
He made Reacher believable.
Yeah. I am I the only one that kind of, and I get it. I'm not like a super pumped up guy, but I kind of hate the fact that Hollywood, like everybody has to be like on the juice, like right now. Like,
is that how? Are they on the juice or
dude? Like, why? Like, look. Why does Chris Pratt when he's playing Lone Star or whatever Lone Star? Sorry, wrong movie.
That's their diet, dog. That's like
that's not diet, bro. That's not diet. I don't care how much chicken and broccoli and rice you eat. Did you just see Hugh Jackman right now?
That is high resistance training. That's light cardio and resistance training, dude. I'm telling you, lift if you want to lift. If you want to cut weight, stop doing cardio and lift.
No, you can
serious.
cut the weight, but the way that they're putting on the muscle, like he didn't have to be jacked to play that role. And you go back and you look at Hugh Jackman in the first X-Men movie, he's just like a regular.
Does not burn fat. Doing cardio burns calories.
I know,
Lifting burns fat.
but I mean, Hugh Jackman is over here on the juice in order to get ready for Deadpool, and I'm like, dude, what is he in 50 something at this age? Like, there's no reason he should be putting on muscle like this.
3 too. Like, all right, so look, we talk about hate watching Marvel.
You're gonna watch that.
I'm gonna watch the hell out of Deadpool 3. That won't be hate watch. That's probably going to be the one saving grace for Marvel. Because hell, if you think about it, Jonathan Majors just got let go, released, and he was the main villain. He was basically the whole Phase storyline. Like Phase 4 and Phase 5 was supposed to.
It was built up for that.
Was revolved around Kang and Kang Dynasty. So I don't know where the hell Marvel's gonna have a knee-jerk reaction to with this.
I'm really thinking
they're screwed.
I'm with you. I'm really thinking they're going to try to sub in Doctor Doom.
You would figure Doom would have to be coming, right? Because Doom and Kang would square off. But you better make this, Fantastic Four, the best Fantastic Four it's ever been, because the previous Fantastic Fours have failed miserably. So.
There's nothing fantastic about the last Fantastic Four.
We shall see.
And they even had Halle Berry at her peak in that Fantastic Four.
Oh, you're wrong. It was Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba, thank you. Sorry, they were both hot. I remember when she was on.
Both fantastic.
But yeah, man. But I was like, can you make a good Fantastic Four movie? Is it possible? Like, what have the other ones lacked that would? Like all these interstellar movies, just
I would argue like Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan were fantastic, but I just don't think that was the film for them, right? Like,
because like even Silver Surfer is like a hard character to get into on the screen, and it's just all like
that's like deep comic. That's
going deep.
You gotta get real deep into comics if you want to get in Silver Surfer and like.
But it's kind of like they tried to make Ghost Rider happen like so many times, It's
just because he's so popular. I mean, I really believe that you could bring back Ghost Rider.
I am looking forward.
Cage. It's like
without Nicolas Cage though. I am looking forward to Blade, but
Blade pretty damn good. But Deadpool is really the only Marvel cinema movie that has me chomping at the bit. Of course we've talked about it, Dune 2 that's coming out in March 1st. I've already mentioned it. If you don't have the viewing optimal situation like I do, or audio situation like I do with Audiovisual Consultations, 512-255-8678. That's avconsultations.com. It's the perfect time. NFL playoffs, you got college basketball, you got NBA, you got hockey, NHL, hockey weekend, All-Star weekend is getting ready to come up. But you can see all of this stuff with Audiovisual Consultations. 512-255-8678. That's avconsultations.com. They've been setting the standard in audiovisual automation for 35 years, since 1988 in the Austin, Central Texas area. If you don't have an idea of what you want, go to that gallery of projects they have on their website, and you will get an idea. I got the two 4K televisions set up behind me with the all-star cabinets, or with the arcade cabinets as well. And then downstairs we have that dream theater system that I always talk about. You can watch whatever you want with Audiovisual Consultations. 512-255-8678. That's avconsultations.com. All right, so
I was going to say, don't skim on calling him right now though, because that really big football game where we determine the winner of the NFL is coming up like in 3 weeks. So get on it.
You might want to have that set up. Don't do like me and have a knee-jerk reaction to where you lost a TV, the day before the Super Bowl, and you have to go to Best Buy, and then you really get shafted and, sold a crappy TV from somebody that doesn't really know what they're talking about at Best Buy. Go to the pros. That's avconsultations.com.
Talking about Best Buy real quick.
Not to if you're in the Austin area.
I just want to ask you real quick, how do you feel about them not carrying like physical DVDs and media or CDs like that anymore?
They don't?
Yeah. Best Buy said that they're going to stop carrying physical media this year. It's going to stop in a couple of months.
Their marketing company or their marketing department has clearly done the stats on this, or taking stats on this. If they're not selling, right? If that's not, if they got too much of an expenditure coming in and they don't have, any of the damn,
I don't know, man.
Any of the inventory of that going out, then why keep paying to have that come in if you're not getting rid of it?
I get it, but it's just kind of like. But I'm also kind of like, what's the point of having a Best Buy if I can just buy the same product somewhere cheaper? You know, like Amazon, because that's essentially what they're turning into. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man. This whole new digital age, while we've been living through it, though, like with the death of Sports Illustrated, with the fact that nobody wants to pay for journalism, and with the fact that these brick and mortar stores that we've known for so long are stopping to carry the physical media, it just kind of sucks, though, like, because we were talking about movies, and we already know that some of those movies are only found on VHS. Like, they didn't even get a DVD release. So it's like, once that media is lost, it's lost forever.
You know what? You won me over there. I was not big on it. I was going to say, they can be able to find it digitally if they wanted to, but yeah, if who knows? Sometimes this whole internet thing that we have going on could get wiped out.
Exactly, and there's 5 episodes of South Park that are banned from streaming. Like, you cannot find them on any streaming service, so you have to own the physical DVDs that they were released on to watch it. And it's like
you say you're not a novelist. You say you're not a romanticist. Look at you collecting DVD, hard copy DVDs, making the.
I don't really collect a whole lot, but there's certain things.
Get out of here, man. Let's talk a little bit about sport. Let's get back into the sports real quick before we get out of here. Let's go into your breakdown for your fantasy football. Did you have any questions for that, or did you have anybody that you were rolling out that you thought was going to have a marquee game or a breakout game, or any questions?
I've been looking at this Lions game. Basically, and that was really it. I was just trying to figure out, was there any way that you can get both and get the double soup, Goff, St. Brown?
St. Brown's going to cost you $8,200 today, man. So
and it's just all like, but the game is going to be returned. It's going to be huge for him. That's where I'm just.
Tampa Bay, they're 24th in the league at allowing points to wide receivers, so that bodes well for St. Brown. They also yield 248 yards, almost 250 yards per game. That's 27th in the NFL. So you'd have to think that, Golf and company is going to be able to exploit that. Like, Laporta coming back opens up so much more for St. Brown, right? If Laporta's not there, then Reynolds is probably going to have to get busy in between the hashes, do more for his payload than what he's used to, which is probably going to take him more towards, I would say he's going to have to be more towards a possession receiver than just the, explosive, blow the doors off the secondary from the slot position, and then that takes away from St. Brown too, right? If you have Laporta back in there, again, it just complements the wide receiver room even better, and that allows St. Brown to go and be the wide receiver that he's been for the past 6-7 weeks now. He had a couple of weeks where he kind of took a little bit of a step back, but I mean, I think that's just the league kind of honing in and trying to, I guess, shore up a little bit of the spot that was hurting them with St. Brown in the past. But look, let me say something right now, dude. This is one of the best wide receivers in the league. If you can get him in there, he's priced at $82 today for a reason, or $82,00 for a reason today, man. If you can get him in there with Jared Goff, I can. I've been trying the past 30 minutes trying to get him in there before the lineups lock. It's
hey, dude. Let me ask you this: Who are you?
I have to go with Reynolds and Rice. Like that's my wide receiver room that I'm rolling with, because I've already played Lamar Jackson, because I told you I played the two quarterback format. So I've already played Lamar Jackson, and I already got Christian McCaffrey out there. I had to make a sacrifice somewhere, and that was in my wide receiver room. So hopefully it worked out to fruition, man. And
I mean, I like your play.
40 points here.
I like your play, and I think you'll be okay today, because I mean, he's going to have a big game for them to have success, and I'm predicting success for Detroit. So I think you're fine with Goff.
I can also get I wanted to get Evans in there. I think Evans is going to have, if Evans doesn't eat against Detroit, like Detroit's 30th in the league at allowing points to wide receivers, right? They're awful. We talked about how exposed they were, last week as well.
Yeah.
But again, consider that offense too. Like McVay and Matt Stafford and company, they can get after it and they throw the ball pretty heavy, right? I think that Baker's going to have tremendous success this week, or this afternoon as well.
But can they have success as a one-dimensional? But can they have success as a one-dimensional team? And I like White. He's been a great running back for me personally on fantasy, but he is going against the best run defense in the league.
Right, but I mean that's going to open it up for Baker Mayfield and this wide receiver room, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, look, like Evans, you can't put Evans up against one of the worst secondaries in the league and not.
No, you're right. He's going to eat.
Expect him to eat, right?
He's going to eat.
Or Godwin at that matter too. And both these guys, they're not, nicked up or knocked up or whatever. I think. Jesus, they're not dinged up. They don't have a knock.
I was gonna say knocked up. What's the guy's name? Tyreek Hill. I mean,
what?
Because what, he has like 7 baby mamas or something like that. So I'm like, I mean, they could be knocked up. I mean, like, if you're Tyreek Hill, it always seems like somebody's knocked up around him.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Antonio Cromartie.
Yeah. Who's the dude that had like 7 kids from 6 different women?
I think it's Cromartie.
No.
And there's another one out there too. That's right.
Running back.
Let's see.
That was actually like the fantasy synopsis.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's coming off of giving birth to the 7th kid with the 6 different women. So that was literally like the breakdown.
It was the running joke.
RotoWire one time. I just can't think of the damn running back.
I know who you're talking about though, man, because it was a big deal.
He was on Houston for a while. He was on Denver. I can't think of the name. I got to go back.
Yeah, because we kept on comparing him to Cromartie and being like, okay, who's going to have more kids?
Like how many, how much talent does this guy have over Cromartie? That's what we were going with. We were trying to be cute with it. Or anyways,
well, I was like Phillip Rivers and his family, though, man. He already has a kid playing quarterback.
He's had consistent with one.
I know. He still has 10, though. He has a whole football team.
I think he's got more than that. I think he's got like 12.
Does he have like 12 now? Dang. I just saw that his kid was playing high school football now.
I know he's quarterback to a football team. I know that. But anyways, we broke down the game before. We broke down Tampa Bay and Detroit. I like Detroit. Detroit's favored by 6. And then Buffalo and Kansas City.
Oh yeah, who do you have for this one?
This the marquee matchup, right? Like this is
easily
everybody's Super Bowl. I would think that these are probably the 2 most exciting teams in terms of offense production.
They were the favorites in the offseason coming in.
And you'd like to think that everybody wants to see this rematch between Mahomes and Allen. However, the situation's changed a little bit. Mahomes is no longer the host. This is the first time that Mahomes gets to leave his comfortable
surroundings.
Venue of how can you call Arrowhead comfortable at this time of year? But I mean,
it was not.
So it's always cold in Arrowhead, usually around this time. But they're going to another brutal venue in terms of old man winter, and how the weather can impact the game there, and that's in Buffalo, man. Weather, I believe, is 20 degrees. Yeah, 20 degrees right now in Buffalo. So how will that play out for the boys in the gridiron there from Kansas City? We'll see, man. I like Buffalo here. I know the line's only 3. I'd like to have that up around maybe a touchdown just to give me a little bit more of a warm and fuzzy, especially going up against Mahomes.
How healthy is Isaac Pacheco?
Buffalo's game to lose, Smash.
I mean, it should be. I mean, this is why they played so hard at the end of the season. That win against Miami just proving even bigger, so they're able to host a game like this. I really still feel like the AFC is going to be running through the Ravens, and they're going to be the eventual Super Bowl. Yeah, so like, in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter who wins this game, but it should be Buffalo. But they're also contending with defensive issues because they had more injuries than the game last week, and they were already limited. But again, like you mentioned it before, besides
Kansas City got to be able to get pass rush on Allen. If they don't get a pass rush on Allen and move Allen off his spot, and hell, that's the thing too. Like you're gonna have to spy Allen. You
can't leave him on.
You got to at least keep one of the linebackers home, or hell, maybe even 2 of the linebackers. You can't.
Yeah, like he's not going to have a 76-yard TD run this year. I mean, this week, but he's going to make big plays with his legs, and
he'll extend drives.
And it'll be enough. And yeah, he'll have interceptions, but
Mahomes
I think
he's going to have to do that too. Mahomes, because Buffalo's going to be circling the wagon, but Mahomes is going to be without the productivity that he gets from his wide receiver room. Mahomes is going to have to make plays with his legs too, right? Maybe at least 3 or 4 first downs with his legs to extend the drive, or to maybe just get that last second chip shot field goal of the drive. Even if they're not being able to get 6, he's going to have to make some plays with his legs just to get them into scoring position to put points up on the scoreboard. And Buffalo's going to be able to score today. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that's where my question comes back to, is like, how healthy is Pacheco? Because I know that he was banged up going into the end of the season. He was dealing with a concussion.
I didn't see any anything on him, any injury reports on him.
No.
So I think he's going to be able to roll out there. So.
And I understand that, and that's why I bring it up, is because like we didn't see any injury reports concerning him, but it's just like, really, how healthy is he? Because we already know everybody's beat up at this point in the season, but he was already really banged up. And it's like, that they're going to have a strong running game in order to have success here today in Buffalo because of the conditions too.
About a minute left. This was actually my question, though.
Okay.
Do I go with Cook or do I go with Pacheco out of my running back? Because
that's the question I had for you.
I still need to fill one spot, right? Because I had McCaffrey rolled out. I went with Pacheco over Cook.
That's what I wanted to go with too, because he's been the better, consistent fantasy option. I'm just afraid because he has been hurt. Like, are we getting that type of Pacheco performance today?
I think you can get at least 15 points from Pacheco. I mean, I'm giving you a floor of 15 for Pacheco because
that's the floor.
I believe Kansas City is going to be reliant on Pacheco's ability to hit him with the ground and pound, right?
They're going to need him.
As crazy as that sounds, with Mahomes as your quarterback, I think they'll be more reliant on Pacheco out of their backfield today.
They're going to have to, man. I think he's going to get a lot of touches, and a lot of swing passes are going to be sent his way for them to have any success against this Buffalo defense in the conditions.
Any last save rounds before we get out of here, man?
Nah, man, it's just good to be back. I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out. Hopefully Texas continues their basketball thing, that they continue with this hot run.
We'll end with this. Are you a believer with Texas men's basketball again? Did the win against Baylor yesterday give you confident hope? Like, there's hope, but there's also there's I guess there's just hopeless hope, but then there's also confident hope, like legitimate, actual hope.
No, I'm definitely hopeful, and I'll tell you why. Is because this Texas team has shown if they play the way that they can play, they can show up against a top 10 team in the nation, right? And that means on any given day, they have the talent available to them. They just have to show up. And it's going to be up to the former Hilltopper himself, Rodney Terry, to make sure that happens.
Look at you throwing that in there. Look,
hey man, he played there.
Hunter went 3 for 4 from the perimeter.
Yeah,
that is not his game. Hunter,
it's not. But if he goes 2 for 6,
the cup, and then he needs to get fouled, and he needs to continue to get free points from the charity stripe. I think that's where Hunter's game is, and that's where the Longhorns can be a lot more effective with Hunter doing that stuff than having him hit 3 for 4 from behind the line. Now, look, I'm saying that. Complaining about it in a win, right? But I just
in a good win, big win.
Talking about confident hope. We need more of that from Asmus, and you're always going to get that from Asmus.
Yeah, you're going to always get it from him. So I mean, you should be pretty confident.
You're going to need another 3-point shooter to emerge rather than just Hunter. Okay.
Real quick, where did they finish in the Big 12? Right now, like after that win, you think they could finish top 3? Fifth still? Dang, man.
I'm not believing it.
Okay. Understandable. Harsh critic.
Anomaly for me in that victory. And I've seen too much inconsistent basketball in the past 2 weeks from the Longhorns to sit here and think that they can make a run at this thing in the Big 12. I mean, I want to be confidently hopeful. But
that's how it was for them last year too, where they just had this huge run at the end of the season. No,
because they had better 2-man play, they had better play from their bigs as well, and they also had performances. They were able to get play coming off of their bench. And
well, we still got the rest of the week of January, and then you got all of February to try to figure this out, and all the other teams still have to keep on cooking too, and it's hard for everybody. There's always big lulls and such.
Kitchen, Smash, that's the thing.
We're not even in the kitchen.
We ain't even in the fucking kitchen. So,
well, they had their chef's hats on yesterday, bro.
It looked good. Yeah, it looked good. You know what I mean? They might have fooled a little bit, but they didn't I'm not being fooled by it. I'm not buying it.
All right. All right, we'll see.
I hope it continues, and I hope I'm wrong. I 100% hope I'm wrong. Anyways, we got to get out of here, man. You guys have a great day. It is NFL Gridiron Sunday for a reason, and make sure you're getting your basketball into and your hockey in. You do that all with Audiovisual Consultations, big supporters and sponsors of the Wagner Wire here on Texas Sports Unfiltered. You guys know the deal, man. If you got any questions, make sure you hit me or Smash up on our socials. I'm at Not the Fake Wag. Smash is at Smash Simmons. And until next week, you guys know the drill, man. Live it, love it, and enjoy the ride. Where's this thank you thing at? Dun-dun-dun-dun. All right, man. You guys have a good one. Later.